Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and I have become slightly tilted. But I am joined by my friends, Matt, Dan, Kara.
Howdy.
I couldn't see all of it, so I just blanked on the name, but also...
Spice.
So, that's...
Oh, I made it infinitely worse.
So that's what's happening. Yeah. But we, you know what? I think it's just...
I'm just going to leave it.
I'm just going to...
Yeah, you can figure it out.
We're going to play some Starfinder tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements.
It's Matt's birthday!
It is Matt's birthday, and that's why we're all dressed up in the theme of...
Yeehaw.
Of yeehaw. Okay, yeah. Of Android Cowboys.
Of yeehaw.
Of the movie Yeehaw. But we're going to play some Starfinder tonight. A couple of things. First of all, we have YouTube at Alberon RPG. You can see this session as well as our D&D sessions when they re-air on Sunday, first at noon and then again at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have an Instagram at Alberon RPG where you can see the different things that show up on our table right now. There's a whole smorgasbord of very tasty looking food, but we will have miniatures and maps and things like that at different times, handouts, things like that, and you can see them in much greater detail. It really is. At Alberon RPG on Instagram. We also have tomorrow our original D&D campaign at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Courts of Everest. We are going to be riding along the Beetle train a little bit further, perhaps. And then, depending on how you interact with this individual when the train car opens. But that is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. And with that, we can get right into this week's session of Mosaic Team 5.
You beyond. I'm back.
Mosaic Team 5.
I'm dead.
What does this say, Matt?
Sorry.
Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, you began your session finishing...
Sir?
Are we ready, Dan? Yeah. Last we played, you began last session finishing your transit through the drift, having reestablished your connection to the greater drift network and completed your journey. Along the way, Bubbles taught Echo and Gibbs chess, with Bubbles recalling that to Gibbs, the way that Dr. Maldross described the various pieces, perhaps indicative of a deeper thought process on personnel management. Spice collapsed into a nerd cave of Laser Monster Card Arena, playing games on their communicator, forgoing sleep, and becoming enough of a gremlin in the 3 days that the rest of the crew felt it necessary to separate Spice from their game. Arriving from the Garachi system, instantly you found yourselves confronted by a massive ship called the Krusty Cutlass. But a natural 20 by Echo allowed your ship to withstand a direct hit from scanners without being detected, and you narrowly avoided a deadly encounter. Echo, you also noticed an incredibly low-power radio signal that seemed to rise and fall in frequency and appeared to indicate a path through a debris field that circles the planet of Garachi. You navigated the source safely and found a very unexpected and somewhat unnerving sight. The mechanic's workshop, now nestled within the debris field, though entirely intact. You debated the merits of going in as a single person or a group for some time, but when even Squeak, your tiny corgi companion, seemed to dislike the station, all of you decided to go together. You crossed the landing platform and to the door, led by Echo. You found that this entire space was abandoned but largely unchanged. But as you entered deeper, Echo, you saw that within the bed, a single humanoid form was draped in a blood-soaked cloth. And as you pulled it aside, it was, to some relief, not the mechanic, but a primitive version of the same steel frame that Echo was built off of, albeit with no real biological parts. Instead, synthetic skin and blood hung like ribbons across the creatures. From the bathroom, behind shelves, and even from the dumpster, these creatures poured forth, dealing devastating damage, as luck seemed to be heavily in their favor. Despite this, an incredible usage of Spice's Envoy Improv Doom forced the Proto-Echoes to delay their assault for a turn, which gave Bubbles time to destroy a creature by missing 4 times. As they overcame their fear of Spice, Echo began to take massive damage, but Gibbs threaded the needle through the combat and shot the android with a shield projector, and Spice followed a minute later with the Improv Kiss It Better to balloon Echo's temp HP pool. Shade was able to land a critical strike that severed the Proto-Echo group in 2. Divided, they were pulled apart by your group, who were left standing, winded within the workshop. Gibbs, you asked what was next, and Spice remarked that the group could go after the mechanic, but Echo stated, "We have a mission, and it is not yet our time to be knights. We are pawns." And with those words hanging heavy in the air, and with Hardcore Henry and the Zinn Crawler ahead, that is where we begin this evening, still within the remains of the mechanic's workshop. We'll use some thematic music for tonight.
So we've already checked all of the computers, right?
You had checked the computers previously, and you had found across them a number of servers that had a pretty good number of blueprints for starships, but there was one in particular, and in this one you found the file that pointed you in the direction of where the mechanic potentially could be.
Echo wants to clean that specific file from the server and leave everything else.
No problem.
Echo doesn't want to touch the collection.
Make a computer check.
#23, because my computer score is +20.
No problem.
Loading Hephaestus.
Easy enough. You are able to just remove this file. You don't take too much time to look through the rest of the directories here. You've seen most of this before, but no problem. Is there anything else that the rest of you are doing?
Kind of passive reconnaissance while I'm waiting for everyone to leave the ship or to head back.
Make a perception check.
Gets a 21, but let me just double check for you there. This here newfangled computer system. 22.
See, Dan, that's why you got to use Dan's system. He never changes. You can always find everything.
Damn.
That's true.
Everything
Never
always
changes.
works.
After like 30 minutes or so of fixing the machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the 21, I mean, you can see the various servers. 22, sorry.
Big difference.
Sorry. You see nothing. There are still mostly everything intact. And I would say with that, now having seen everything here and the level of destruction these creatures are capable of, that would tell you that they did not attack anybody within here. There's no signs of damage that would lead to...
So they were here. They came presumably after the mechanic.
That would
had
line up.
Evacuated.
You also see that the bathroom completely unstocked with toilet paper, a lot of the toiletries, soap, various kind of staples that you might find around a house have been removed. And that would also line up with what you're saying there.
Can I investigate the bodies a little more closely and see, like, because you were calling them prototype echoes or proto-echoes, but, like, we haven't really made that connection.
Is anybody else doing anything?
I investigated the bodies previously for like just medical shit.
Yeah. And that's
Echo-
how you found out about the being synthetic skin and blood.
Echo would assist Shade.
Okay. Make an engineering check. And take a... Make an engineering check.
Oh.
I'm gonna use my reroll. It was even worse, was it?
Thanks for subscribing, Dan.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's okay. It's still a 30.
Tragic.
I mean, 30 is still pretty decent. So, you take some time
Actually,
here.
31 because my +1 from the thing, the box.
That actually does matter.
There we go.
With a 30, you would have really taken this apart and really taking a little bit of time. It would have taken you a little bit longer than like 5 minutes, probably 10 minutes, give or take. But as you're able to remove elements of these like ribbons of skin, and the blood has already begun to congeal in a very unnatural way where it gets dry and crumbly very quickly, and you're recognizing within those crates that element of rust that you had seen, probably this synthetic blood, not actually rust. But you would, a couple of things come to light very quickly. The first, these are very simplistic versions of what is within Echo, but only really the base frame. Echo, if you were looking at this creature, it is literally just a skeleton wrapped in skin. There's no organs, there's no like flesh or real meat to this creature. And so this isn't really living, and at one point in the combat you had said that there's nothing really there, and that's definitely true. And that is odd because these are pretty freshly made. There is no sign that these are old. There isn't any serial numbers on them, and they are not stamped with the Pallades Rock logo in any places. And so that would tell you that these are pretty contemporary.
And that's with the 30, or is there a 31?
There is. With the 31, within all of this sort of body, I would say there is a recognition that the material used here ever so slightly different than Echo's. It's all still, I mean, if you were to list it, it's still a steel frame, but there are components that you had maybe glimpsed when you had spent a little bit of time in Akaton. There was a base that had been taken over by the GPF that at one point had been a mining facility. And it's very similar to the kind of ore composites you were seeing in that area.
I would relay this information as Echo's there helping, right? It seems as if these have been produced after Pallades began resurfacing.
They do indeed seem to be contemporary.
There's also signs of mineral deposits similar to those found on Akaton at the former mining station that was taken over by GPF.
I feel better about destroying that station.
Agreed.
Not by much. Can I do a sense motive check?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch this interaction.
Okay.
Oh my god. 33.
And to be clear, is this on yourself or on Shade?
There were echo units, in Perdido.
What?
There isn't, as far as you can tell, a connection between those echo units and what you were seeing here.
Oh, you thought those were the... I see.
Those echoes had really been like as far as like echo units could really achieve some level of lasting happiness. They had really found that. I mean, a way to utilize the speed that they had in a nonviolent way was like a pretty cool thing to do. There was no real malice within what they did, and they were busy. There is perhaps something to them existing within that planet and that climate that would also facilitate the materials kind of existing in a similar place, perhaps?
It was mostly like they died. Scrap?
No. Those, I mean, they are, I believe they were older than you,
Yeah.
but like they would definitely have had a lot more kind of wear and tear on them.
What do you propose we do with the bodies?
The constructs. I do not believe they are bodies. Without a functioning, independent brain, they are things. Are they not?
Things that we need to move. if someone were to find that they had been destroyed, it would raise suspicions. These were likely left as a trap
Indeed.
after the mechanic left.
But if they are already dead, and we do not want them reconstituting, perhaps they would find their absence more suspicious.
They also serve as a good warning that a trap's been tripped.
Gibbs just like whoom, from under the desk.
From under the trash can.
Ah, yes.
Either way, it is already suspicious. It would take time and effort to move them.
Then we'll leave them as they are.
So, are we leaving, guys, or?
To Zinn, right?
Well, to the jungle planet.
Trash.
Garachi.
That's the one.
You know, it's different in different cultures, but Garachi is typically what people call it, yes. Give me 1 second here. So are you guys all making your way back to the Directive Zero?
Yes.
Very cool. With no trouble, you make your way through, and Echo, as you're going more and more, as you're leaving this behind you, you're seeing signs that even though this is very much unchanged, there are a few things that are missing. And much like Shade has put together that there are like toiletries that are gone, there is a favorite poster that is not there. There is like 1 or 2 things that were taken away. And if you were just to come in here and not know this guy, this looks like somebody left in a hurry. But that may not be the case.
As Echo takes like a few more steps towards the Directive Zero, they like zip back towards their locker closet. And then they just kind of peek inside.
Okay. So you open it up and it's empty.
Zip back and join everyone else.
Okay. You all make your way back to the Directive Zero, crossing this platform in space, and you can see above you, pretty far in the distance, the sort of moon that is Zinn, with the shadow of Garachi kind of settling across it, almost into a crescent. You can't see the crawler from here, but turning back over you, even though the light from the star is hitting the top of this planet, it is almost an entirely jet black surface. And the vegetation or the stone or whatever it is that's on here just seems to swallow the light. There is texture, but it's almost hard to see. But you can make your way back and board the Directive Zero. You can take off your various space garments like the fishbowl that Gibbs wears, and you are back.
I have located a suitable landing site on the far side of the planet from the crawler.
And we're gonna park the Directive Zero there, and then we're just gonna shuttle ourselves up to Zinn.
That is correct.
And we're taking the slicer cutters.
The tendon slicers.
That's the one.
So we should bring everything that we want to bring for the mission with us, because we probably aren't going to be coming back, right?
That is correct. The less we visit the director, the more quieter it will be.
Are you okay with this?
This is the plan.
Okay. Sounds good.
Director, enter coordinates that Echo will send. We're heading towards Garachi.
Doing so now. Do you intend to park your fighter ships aboard the Zinn crawler?
That is the current plan.
Very well. And a little light goes off. You can feel there is a brief kind of shudder, and the autopilot begins to kick off the initiation sequence, and before too long, you feel the momentum shift as your ship pulls away from the platform.
Do you have thoughts on the matter?
You're asking the director?
Mm-hmm.
That sounded like a poignant question, and I was hoping someone else would ask.
The light goes back on, and the director says, "The Zinn crawler is a risky place to leave anything of value."
That's why we wouldn't want to leave you there.
Agreed.
Aww.
It may be more logical to maintain a base on Garachi, somewhere off of the crawler, and...
It is not. Our frequent trips back to Garachi, an uninhabited world, would draw more suspicion.
I'm not saying that we make multiple trips, just that we leave everything here and only go with the ships when the time is right.
How are we supposed to integrate ourselves if we're not frequently there? We're not there.
Alternatively, I can send the ships to you when you are ready to use them. They will not be able to take evasive action en route, at least not in a complicated manner.
I would feel better if we, as a lockout team, arrived in our lockout craft.
Very well.
Nice. Great. Parking on Garachi. Watch the branches.
The trip off from this to actual Garachi itself only takes about 10 minutes. You're basically in orbit already. And a big part of the time is just kind of coasting around to the far side of the planet where you've identified an appropriate landing site. I would say, Echo, you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make a computers check. And this is you using your scanners to really hone in on this area, because as you are flying across it, though it is all black, you are recognizing on the scanners huge amounts of hydrogen and oxygen, and this is really just almost like an ice plateau.
Dirty 30.
Nice.
With the Dirty 30, pretty easy to figure out where this spot is. So looking down, I mean, it is a dark world, and there's almost no light really as a result. And so there is just rich black soil and stone that is kind of mixed into the snow here in such a way that this is just a monochromatic landscape.
Quite dark down there it is.
Yes, and there is breathable air. There is breathable air. You read traces of sulfur, and so it probably doesn't smell that great. But aside from that, it is relatively low in life signs. You are seeing as you get closer and break through the cloud cover that there are pockmarked sort of debris areas where things have hit. There isn't a strong atmosphere here, and so it's pretty easy for some of the debris to sink in. There is a small seam of inky purple water along the middle of this section where you would normally land. And with the 30, you recognize that landing there would have cracked the ice and kind of plunged the director down, which wouldn't have been ideal. And so you land off to the very far edge on the northern side, or polar north for this planet, to a much more stable shelf of ice that sits atop rock. And there is a brief kind of as the entire shelf just shifts a little bit. But as your engines wind down, Echo, you land perfectly fine and know that there is probably an ocean, like a not terrible distance beneath you. But for the time being, you are fine.
Pack your slicers.
Okay, I gotta go get changed. 1 second. I changed my outfit.
Trinket. You are now the fortune-telling Yosoki
Spun.
with a bottle on another
Just-
side.
Face in paint. Now I'm black. Stop. I have black fur. Sorry. It came out and then I was like,
Great.
The stutter was perfect.
You could sense immediately.
there was so much regret. My face is so red because I feel so embarrassed.
Somewhere far away, Nazma's like, oh man. Public relations
I
is
am
gonna
a
be
black
getting
rat
called.
now. That's all.
I got you.
Okay.
So you take elements of this black paint, you work it into your fur, almost like an oil that really sinks in.
Sorry.
Is
my
it a
face-
null oil?
It's similar in the way that it kind of comes across. It doesn't paint in a matte way. It kind of sinks into your skin a little bit.
Don't put me
pools,
into
and
this.
So you're a little patchy looking.
Yeah.
But you are a
Slightly different colored rat.
you look
Should've
like
gone with
a
gray.
You look like
I'm
a
already
very
gray.
you look like a very dirty Yosoki.
Fuck.
Like it
pretty much the same
crumbles
as
and
the
kind of
legs.
gets chunky in places where like
All right, so it's not
gravity
convincing.
no gravity
Oh.
pulls it down in your fur, and so like where it dries it's heavier on the bottom. It you look like you were maybe in like an explosion.
Okay.
And
Then
found your way
I'm
out.
just gonna prestidigitation that away and be
make yourself regular dirty.
yeah. That was not my intention.
So
Sorry.
we're on
And Mark.
Garachi right now.
Yes. You are
Icy
currently within
planet.
the director, standing on or kind of parked atop what is a
How far is it from Garachi to Zinn?
from Garachi to
From
Zinn,
where we are on.
to take the the tenantizers.
Yeah.
To take the tenantizers to Zinn would take about half an hour.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
See,
sweet pot.
because I'm thinking like, if we're unattending to the tendon slicers, that's
But we have a team of 5. We could always just have watches.
Where are you planning on landing them?
Well, we gotta go to
Right.
Zinn and
where,
like find parking.
where the mechanic shop was.
There's probably a parking lot there
well,
now.
also
That's
we gonna
what
end
immediately
it?
moves
I
in as a
have a
parking lot.
vague recollection of somewhere in the spine, right?
There's a lot of places you could park them in the spine for sure. Yeah.
Right, but I'm talking about the place that I had like a vague memory of when I had looked up. I think I looked up something and then I
Yeah, I
wrote
remember
down.
Matt looking it up. It was when we were on.
It was like
You had actually
unprompted,
heard
I
of. You had
the
remembered.
spine.
You had remembered a bar that was on the spine called the Shipyard of Zinn, and that might have been confused as a shipyard. But there are a number of different landing
maybe
platforms
that's
along
what
the
it
spine.
was.
So the spine of the Zinn crawler is very much like, and I think Echo knows this the best. The spine of the Zinn crawler is almost like a canyon of structures that go down to the central path, and it breaks out into other like roads and stuff as well. But
Kinda
that
like
is where you
looks
can
small,
land. It's the
but-
only.
Yeah, I remember the comparison
Yeah,
there.
very much. It's yeah.
Okay, so we're taking the slicers. We're gonna park. We're gonna not let them get stolen or messed up or like keyed. And we're gonna integrate ourselves
That's
in
the
the community.
worst thing that could happen is to get keyed. Oh, no lockout.
We get a parking ticket.
800
it.
damage.
We also might want to hurry to the location where the mechanic shop was, as that is where I sent our upgrades.
Ooh, we don't trust those Jacinto delivery drivers.
It's more that
Delivery driver
the Zinn crawler is a hotbed for criminal activity.
and package stealers.
If they are not already gone.
All right.
Well, I don't think I can bring a lot with me on this. Our slicers. So I think I'm pretty much packed.
Does everyone have their disguises?
You watch Spice as she activates her morphic skin to look like Bastion.
So you activate your morphic skin, and you go from this Lashunta with blue hair and very much female to the opposite of that. You are blonde haired, like
I thought you had
broad
purple.
shouldered. Huh?
I thought he had purple hair and purple
forget
skin.
it.
It's dyed like a lilac, but very
Okay.
much like a. I mean, you definitely saw blonde at the roots.
Okay, okay.
But whatever you would like the hair to look like, the real form is this like chiseled form of Bastion, this kind of
Yes.
like surfing physique that you have. No problem. Are you
You
are
also
you
have
still
a lever
wearing
projector.
are you
do
still
I?
wearing
Yeah.
just are you still wearing the like just regular Spice Amito clothes?
No, she's gonna go full whatever she saw Bastion wearing last time.
He wasn't shirtless.
Oh yeah, he was like
Yeah.
naked, yeah. And then she winks at Bubbles.
Spice,
But
I would like to add a. Yes.
Aren't
Is
you?
not your.
What?
Isn't your alias a female?
All right, and then you see it like her body shimmers, and then it's just Bastion but a girl.
Dope. Love
Much
it.
better.
Wait, are you wearing a
Phenomenal.
shirt?
No. Yes.
Go. There's not really a dress code on the Zinn crawler, I guess. I mean, it will draw looks.
We have all seen how the Lashunta fist bump operates.
That's gonna get you a lot of favors in this town.
Woohoo!
It will also get us a lot of attention.
Fine. She like puts a little like cowgirl, like the half
little half
the
vest?
cropped. Yeah,
Yeah,
she wears a little vest.
Modesty bar.
Fine. Spray paints a top on.
Yeah.
No problem.
Just a sensor bar.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so no problem. You get quote unquote dressed. We already described Gibbs in great detail. Echo, are you mostly just changing coveralls?
Yep.
Very nice.
Echo has looked into what the MRS units are generally wearing. Wearing something similar.
Yeah, and that is basically like a crimson red coverall that is almost in the exact same style as the one that you're wearing.
Can you
This
change
one,
the color of your lenses?
Can you change the color of your eyes?
I mean, contacts, yeah.
I suppose if we were to spray paint over my eyes, I would have trouble seeing, but they would be a different color.
That was not obviously what I was asking. I meant like without harming you.
No.
Okay. I know.
You've learned about androids. So, all of you pack your bags. You dress up in your various costumes. Shade, are you changing the way that you dress at all?
Yeah, did I get one of those glamour things?
Everybody has one now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use that to
Okay.
not look like me.
Okay.
What do you look like?
Can the glamour weave give me a fake eye?
Yeah, it can. It won't hold up to like very close scrutiny.
It's like a holographic eye. It doesn't
Yeah.
follow your other eye. It stares
Permanently
straight
lazy
ahead.
eye.
It's like the AI eyes where like one's like
Yeah.
Atlanta Baccio, a great pilot, but somehow with odd depth perception.
you can never sneak up on them though.
They get different rates.
Yeah, I think I would glamour weave a second eye
No problem.
because that would make it pretty easy to distinguish. And then, also like get rid of some of the android features.
Make a sense motive check.
Sense motive. I'm good at that.
Bubbles, what are you wearing?
Android.
Leathers.
No. Bubbles
Damn,
wants to
security.
Bubbles is trying to do security. Just like a tough, like kind of like gun for hire type. So he's gonna glamour project like maybe like a beanie or something. Something that makes him look a little bit tough.
Black turtleneck and a beanie, like 1990s henchman.
Yeah, what?
Fantastic.
Fanny pack.
No, just like a regular street beanie. He wants to make himself look a little dirty, but not real dirt because of course it's Bubs.
Yeah.
Makeup dirt.
Just like clothes, maybe some like rips on his clothes and stuff and whatnot.
So you want to look rich. Okay. So
And just like I think you'd have like a sweatshirt, like a work sweatshirt or something like that.
okay.
Something like a name brand that a company gives for like work tools or something.
So you're really trying to be like the working person in this place that wouldn't traditionally have like, office workers. You would be like, what would be considered white collar in the Zinn crawler. So no problem, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just DeWalt.
Or more like blue collar, I guess,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
18?
18. With an 18, as you do this and you kind of use your communicator perhaps to catch a glimpse at what you look like, you recognize that by taking away elements of the android, you probably look more, and in fact definitely look more like you did in that video. And if people recognize you here as perhaps your former self, it will be perhaps less of a disguise in this
I'm
way.
gonna continue to alter my disguise until it's very unrecognizable. Like
Okay.
distinctly different person, different color hair, length,
Neon pink.
like the works.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do the like lockout uniform.
Okay. Neon Wraith lockout uniform, no problem.
Yeah, or like not pilot uniform, but like outside of the ship, the uniform that you'd wear, like the jacket and the pants. Kind
Gotcha,
of thing.
gotcha.
Maybe the
It's like loosely called a D-suit, like the disembark thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. Okay. So all of you now in your various disguises, certainly not a group of bounty hunters, but a maybe like a talent show gone awry. You make your way to your you make your way to your tendon slicers and your legal guardian Echo, and no problem, you can start them up. All of you are good at flying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learn.
So, as you get into these heart spike flight or these tendon slicer spiders, you really, looking around, these are military grade craft. And so this isn't like getting in and flying. This wouldn't be like, getting in your friend's car and like driving it to the end of the block. This would be more like getting into your friend's F-16 Fighting Falcon and trying to do literally anything with it. There are just all these gears and switches and things that you are not familiar with. There isn't a wheel in the way that commercial craft have them. It is much more like the Director, except there are like significantly more complex fly-by-wire systems set up here so that this, you can't overcorrect the ship because this has the capability of tearing itself in half. It has vector thrusting. So, this is a difficult ship to fly. It has incredibly high capabilities, but that comes at a price. So,
Trinket Chips just got a bunch of sticky notes all over the dashboard of like the different buttons and what they do because she took the lessons from Echo.
Echo put like a bunch of little firm crates over certain buttons that you can't press.
God damn it.
No problem. So, everybody go ahead and make a piloting check on your maiden voyage as a team.
Okay, let's get it. Here we go.
Ooh.
Bubba's gonna make sure he passes his seatbelt.
Take a +1 conditional modifier.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
Road
do have
safety is
+5.
important.
Damn.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Like the worst
Pray
I
for a
could
20.
possibly do.
Right. 10.
25.
Okay.
I rolled a 2 on the die and it's still a 24.
I did better than you.
25,
than
matching
both
Bubs
pilots.
again.
It's all about the seatbelts.
Nice.
Shade, in your mind, you have this flight suit on, you're in this group, you look to your left, you look to your right, and for the first time, your whole team almost in uniform because the director has you all like static locked at the moment. But in the second that you kick that off and you all begin to go away, you look to your left, you can see Echo and Bubs both like just drop at the exact same time. It is perfect unison. You're to the right, you see Gibbs is waving through the cockpit, but still descending perfectly fine. And then, and Spice is still up there. And Spice, for some reason, you just can't figure out. And you, of all people, you've flown this very craft before, but the controls are a little different. This is a newer version of the fighter, and so, you know, you're just not quite used to it. And this is basically the GPF version of like a manual, so even harder. You don't have the things that you're used to using. You don't have a co-pilot, and so it's much harder. You find yourself a little stranded.
Me definitely did all the work.
And so you guys have this brief, like, awesome rollout moment, and then you have to turn back, and you have to give Spice a little support in getting free of the docking berth. And then you are all out and away from the Directive Zero, and you can make your way off of Garachi, leaving this dark planet behind and the Director with it.
Bye, Director. Love you. Stay safe. Beep, beep.
There is a little low energy blip from the Director that is in low energy mode to stay as unvisible as possible.
Director,
That's not
make sure
word.
my plants have adequate light, please.
There is no blip.
Echo sends like a very quiet space ping to be like,
Would we be able to put our ships in the same mode by taking out, like, would I be able to replicate taking out the circuit board that they did?
The ignition core?
Yes. the
Yeah, you
ignition
definitely
core?
can. And you imagine, I mean, that's really what the purpose of that is.
Yeah.
To make it harder to steal. Now, if you had another ignition core, there are ways that you could patch this. It would take specific knowledge,
Right.
but that will definitely be a step in the right direction.
Okay. Is that something that I should have done on Garachi?
No, you can do that once you land.
Okay, cool. Then I plan to do that.
No problem. You make your way out and into space through
Listening to some tunes.
through the debris field without any trouble. All of you flying pretty seriously, and then Gibbs just jamming out in their cockpit. But you make your way over, and Echo, you have the best knowledge of this place. So in terms of where you want to land, the spine is the only place that has easily accessible kind of landing pads. You do know that there's another entrance known as the Pilgrim Staircase that has a kind of hidden entrance. There isn't any place to like park around there. Yeah, where are you parking?
Echo wants to park as close to the mechanic shop as possible, if not in it. Figuring that getting to the mechanic shop to pick up the upgrades first is top priority. Moving ships later, lower tier priority.
Okay, no problem. So, Susan.
Or Dan.
Or Dan, that's also possible. You make your way, setting a course for the spine. About 25 minutes goes by as you make your way closer and closer to the moon of Zinn, and as a light crests over your back, suddenly it just strikes across the landscape. This isn't dark like Garachi. This is much like you would imagine the moon to look. Just white and gray stone, this kind of bleak landscape, although there are these huge craters that you can see that, as you are approaching, get a little closer, are very much like huge three-toed footprints that are on a scale that is larger even than those swarm creatures you saw, larger almost by an order of magnitude. This is massive. But,
On Garachi?
oh yeah,
Oh.
as you get closer, you see the source of these footprints is the Zinn crawler itself. A towering structure that at one point I would say, some of you could recognize at one point might have been like a mining platform or something similar. It walks on 6 huge legs that, as they move, have a number of different lights and floodlights and spotlights that are mounted to them that sweep across the landscape to illuminate the darker spots. And this just walks, keeping within this very thin line of light that allows it to not freeze over or burn up, this being a tidally locked planet. You can see as you get a little bit closer, there are a few ships that kind of just zip into the back area. The back itself is the only place that you can see an opening within the outer hull, which is many different layers of steel that have been kind of welded together over time and attached over damaged structures. There are places where you can see burn marks and kind of laser scorching along the side, but has long since been repaired. Give me 1 second here. The entirety of this thing, as you pick it up on scanners, is about 3 miles long. And this platform is almost a city within. The life forms almost blend together and become hard to read because there are so many. And as you get really close and you're beginning to see like people and ships and structures down in this little canyon, you can see that much of this is built from Jacinto Explorer Works modular platforms. There's a healthy dose of modular pod structures that stick out from these Jacinto steel like garishly colored light bulbs in the back of a hulking blackened metal beast. And as you approach, there's one other ship that is kind of in a similar position, and you see it descends completely unperturbed by anything, any kind of like harassment or anything, and just lands. And you would see that this is a Vesk ship. And I would say, Spice, are you in the cockpit?
Everyone's in their cockpit.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, you guys are flying in your fighters. For those of you who could read Vesk, and I know that's Spice, and I can't remember if there's anybody else.
I think I can.
I feel like you.
Yeah, I can. I got best.
Nice. So Gibbs and Spice, the two of you can read Whamzam Produce Company,
Yum.
and that just kind of lands down there. But all
Is it
across,
like a Vesk, like, truck?
make a culture check. It's a like a light hauler.
Okay, I was about to ask what model ship and stuff was it?
23.
It's not a model that you're familiar with. This is a Vesk ship from the Veskarium, and there isn't the same kind of knowledge that exists about Vesk ships that exists within both the GPF and USR. Oh, was that
33.
33? With a 33,
Wait, 36.
36.
Sorry. Math.
Wow.
the Whamzam Produce Company is a Skittermander-controlled company that comes off of Veskarium, the world Vesk 3, which is a largely agricultural world. And yeah, I mean, that's most of what there is to know about it. And from that, I would say you get the sense there's probably not a lot of farming happening on the Zinn crawler. And so almost all of their food is likely flown in, and you're seeing one of those shipments. But there are a number of different things, and as you're kind of going along, there are any number of places that you can kind of land your ships. There are no places where you could land more than 3 of them together. And so you will have to park in at least moderately separate spots. The places that you see open, there is one Echo that is near what you know to be the Liberteca. This is a sleek titanium building, which is just custom-made pieces that have been shipped in. Actually, I would say, Spice, you recognize Castrovellian steel that has been mixed into this structure. And actually, with that check, I would say, Spice, you recognize, even at this distance, because it's very large along the side, one of the sponsors of this entire structure, which is almost certainly religious in nature, you had just seen this. It is a Castrovellian shipping or imports company called Ikasairu Import Company. And you can see their sigil along the side of this cathedral as well.
Is it IKA?
Ekasairu.
Say IRU. That was pretty close.
Religious? What god?
You, even with that check, do not see symbology that you are familiar with. You see what looks like a gear and some kind of a dark liquid that pours behind it, but hard to tell. You've never really seen anything like this before.
Okay.
The other landing place that you can see, where there are two that you could kind of park side by side, is right in front of something that is known as the Zinn Crawler primary defensive platform. And within this canyon-like space, there is almost like a hunched back within this creature, this Zinn Crawler creature. And that is a multi-layered sort of defensive tower. Within the center of it, there is a generator that provides the power, and then along all of the sides of it, there are rotating rings that have several different turrets along them. And this is the primary armament within the Zinn Crawler and a relatively powerful deterrent to pirate activity. Echo, you know that this contains a number of Gatling cannon arrays that can really, it's a capital weapon. Those are the primary places that you can find places to park. There is a place that is also available, just one spot, outside of Godfrey's garage.
Echo would want to make sure that there could be groups parked together, so not just one ship alone by itself. But also, does Echo know of any of these, like, hubs that are tied to more, like, criminal activity versus not? Like, which
Make a cultures check. Take a +8 conditional modifier.
Which ones might be associated with the carbon cartel, for example?
Sure.
+8, you said?
Yeah.
Love that for me. Do I get to add my additional modifier for recalling knowledge about the criminal underworld,
You
which
do.
reduces the DC by 5?
You do.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's real
Pulling
good.
up that theme knowledge. Doesn't get used enough.
It doesn't. 19. 25.
25. Oh, I was about to go to math cam. So, this sleek titanium building you recognize as the Liberteca. You know that this is also known as the Cathedral of the All Code, and this is a this is a sort of group that is primarily human and Lashunta in nature, although they take all sorts of people, and they vaguely worship the concept of machines. They are not associated with the carbon cartel, almost markedly so, and would really serve as one of the primary foils that prevent the carbon cartel from fully taking power.
Echo highlights that specific doc for like the group of 3.
They are a group that are very interested in technology, and so unusual ships, technology, things like that would be very interesting to them, and probably not in a positive way for all of you. They are not necessarily criminals, but their belief is such that all machinery is within their domain, and so ultimately they do ask often if they can have things, but that's polite.
They ask until the answer's no.
Echo highlights it, thinks for a moment, erases it.
I would say you know that Godfrey's garage is run by Inishtangi. It's like a chameleon-like bipedal creature. They're not associated with the carbon cartel at all. They're pretty independent. They're a little annoying, and they only work for hard currency, and so you can't use like credits with them. They do accept trade for certain things.
And I like people who are annoying.
Sorry?
What was the race that I was again?
Ishtangi. Ixtangi.
Is that doc like associated with the garage, or is it the
Yeah,
garage?
it's associated with the garage.
Okay, never mind. Echo highlights that one and says, "For me."
The last time that you had been on the Zinn Crawler, you know that the Zinn Crawler primary defensive platform is run by an individual associated primarily with the Cult of Oil and Chain, and so they're not really associated with the Carbon Cartel. That's also like as close as you could get to a military situation on the Zinn Crawler, and so, I mean, you want to be very cautious in that area. And those are the places that you saw. You know of a place here that is called the Shipyard of Sin. That's a bar. That is certainly associated with the Carbon Cartel and kind of their into this region.
Echo once more like highlights the Liberteca, but this time sends out a message.
You have an option. The larger group can go to the Liberteca and potentially have ships noticed and potentially stolen by religious zealots. Or you can park here, and Echo highlights the military-ish base, and have your craft noticed and potentially inquired about by paramilitary personnel, and perhaps stolen by paramilitary personnel.
Or perhaps destroyed by paramilitary personnel.
So it's the lesser of two evils.
Based on what our ships look like, because they don't look like the tendon slicers anymore, right? They've gotten.
Hot to pink.
Are there any that would be more innocuous in either of those places, or are they all kind of like? They look like.
They just look like ships, you know. They're
So they aren't necessarily ships that would be like, ooh, fancy tech,
correct.
right? Okay.
Bubs would chime in that he does have fancy tech on his gun for his ship compared to everyone else's guns.
Also true.
Okay, do you want the religious cultist or the police cultist?
Paramilitary personnel.
Yeah.
Which we probably could assume are influenced by the cartel.
They are not.
No?
They are a different organization entirely, and working together would not be in their interest.
I mean, I'm leaning towards cult. For me.
I shall take the garage.
Alright.
As I am the one carrying hard currency, I apologize that there is only one space for one ship at a time.
At the garage?
Indeed.
Oh, wait, so I'm parking at the Libroteca.
I think we're all gonna park at the Liberteca except for.
Well, can it only fit 3?
It can only...
I would fit two, I thought.
3.
Okay.
Liberteca can fit 3, and then
Alright.
there are 2 that can fit outside of the Zinn crawler primary defensive platform.
And only one can fit at Godfrey's.
Correct.
Can any fit outside the Isaru Company temple?
That's the 3.
Yeah, that's the 3.
Oh, that's what Liberteca is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Liberteca.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's just like a sigil amongst others that is painted along the side of the building, likely a sponsor. But you, and for what it's worth, I'll be clear about this. This is the places where there are open positions. There are ships parked in places, and you know there are ways of moving ships. There are also like exteriors of the hull that you could technically park on. You would need to then like rappel down the side of a moving platform in space. But you know there are other options. You don't need to park here
Okay, so you're parking
Those
at
are the most
Godfrey's.
inconspicuous, right?
if you're going to park here. Yeah.
You're parking at PDP? Primary defensive platform?
I guess mine does have something valuable that could be stolen.
Either way, there is a potential at either platform.
Yeah, it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah.
However,
Presenting.
it seems like it will draw more notice from the All Code zealots.
Okay, that was my thoughts.
But you might fit in with, you know, you Starfish, whatever your name is.
Johnny Q.
Johnny Q, you might fit in with
Johnny Starfish.
with PDP a little bit better.
Johnny Starfish.
I think I'm gonna fit in better with Liberoteca, even though I got nothing to do with technology.
Miss Valentine may also fit in well with the Liberteca.
Ideally, we will not interact with either of these groups.
How are we
We're
gonna
simply parking here.
integrate? All right, where are you parking?
I hear nuns really like booze. At Liberteca.
I'll park my shuttle with the paramilitary, the defense, whatever it's
Primary
called.
defensive
So
platform.
PDP, Liberoteca, Joffrey's Garage.
Okay, so Gibbs, you are going to the Liberteca, as is Spice.
Yes.
Okay, so 3 different groups.
How far away are we going from each other? Because it's not just like, oh, you're parked across
The
the
Liberteca and
way.
Godfrey's Garage, very close. And so, like, you could conceivably, in like a couple, well, Echo in a turn of combat, could just zip over and maybe halfway back.
Okay.
The PDP is exactly in the middle of the platform and is kind of further from the other 2, which are closer to what would be like the head of the structure. And so that's close to like 15 minutes away.
Oh.
Except for Echo, who can get there.
Yeah,
very
exactly.
I like this. We're done.
Yeah, we parked.
You break
parked.
off. Gibbs and Spice, the 2 of you land in the Liberteca, sort of outside of it and just a little bit off and to the left. as you do, you can see that there are a number of individuals who are kind of standing outside of this space. They are wearing what look like these kind of almost cream-colored robes. There are a number of almost all of them have had pretty significant work done, very similar to you, where they're at least, I would say at least 50% augmented, if not more in some cases. You can see individuals that clearly have no legs and are hovering along using some kind of a field projector. But this is a group that seems to be kind of congregating around the entrance, having some kind of a service, perhaps. Echo, you land outside of Godfrey's garage in this one kind of for customers parking space, no problem. And you can see this individual, as they walk out through the door, they this cape over their shoulder, and you can see this very chameleon looking individual. They have what look like almost crystalline scales that underneath that have this liquid chemical that's similar to an octopus, can very much shift and change shape, color, texture to make them almost blend in with their background, very much like a chameleon. But they begin to make their way over to you. And then Bubbles and Shade, the two of you make your way to the primary defensive platform.
Nice.
And the primary defensive platform
starts firing at us.
It's good that it doesn't. As you're getting closer to it, it's a tower of steel and concrete, and you can see, Shay, make an engineering check. As you are landing, you can see there's a number of fuel cells spaced out along it.
Back into jail.
Straight to jail.
Engineering?
Yeah.
27.
With a 27, you catch a glimpse of something that says Gorloth, and that rings a bell as maybe a defensive company of some kind, but nothing
Sounds
really
Vasco
outside
too,
of that.
right?
Does, yes. There are 6 rotating rings that house several turrets on each, which create Gatling cannon arrays that you imagine would perhaps even shred the director in a single turn, such as the diameter of these barrels. And that's all that you would really see. Opposite that is the shipyard of Zinn, which is a long bar. And then you can see it's open to the kind of canyon, and there are people walking by. But there's a large bar of blackened, sanded down steel that's rimmed in silver. There are a number of people there, but I would say, Shade, you recognize almost right away, aside from the bartenders who are a Vesk, a human, and a Lashunta, there are a just wide variety of different humanoid sort of figures here. Not even just humanoid. Right at the entrance, you can see this figure that looks almost like their foot is up on the table. It looks like a number of root-like tentacles that seem to form very long toes, and that leads to a stalk-like body. And as it turns, you can just see these 3 purple lights just glow, and you've never seen a creature like this before. There are entities here that you have never seen. But that is what you see. Who wants to start? I would say actually Echo. Why don't we start with you?
Echo pops off the cockpit sliding whatever it is, hops out and then leans back in and pulls out the very heavy case full of credits.
He looks over at you and just goes, "Oh, Mars unit, do you have your voucher? We could give you the discount."
Unfortunately, I am here on a personal matter, and the company would not appreciate it.
I won't say anything. It really helps me out. What are you looking for? What are you trying to get done? What is this?
I am here with my lockout team.
You play Lockout?
I do.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Are you here for the tournament?
Yes.
Oh, what's your team name? Oh, don't tell me. You're with Star Cobras.
Echo looks over at their garishly painted ship.
They look over at your garishly painted ship, and you can see their entire, the scales all shift bright pink and yellow, and then they're back to their normal color, and almost at once they go, oh, no. You're from the Dreadlight Collective, right?
We are rather new. We are the Neon Wraiths.
I've never heard of you before.
Again, we are rather new.
What do you need? I'm a garage. You must know that you parked here.
I need a couple of things. I require, first of all, parking. and security.
You could see one eye blinks and the other one goes up as if he's thinking, and he says, I'm not really supposed to do parking because I need customers here. I could rent it, I guess, but you'd be pretty expensive.
I have hard cash.
Is that what's in there?
It is quite heavy.
Oh, well, yeah, of course you could park here. But don't you have a team?
Unfortunately, you only have one space.
Well, up here I only have one space, but I have a storage unit you could maybe use.
Is it monitored?
Doesn't have to be.
What were you thinking for a rate?
His eye, the one that is not like closed, looks down at your bag and just says, I mean, that's probably fine. How long are you going to be here for?
It depends how the tournament goes, I suppose.
What are we talking? Are we talking about gold nuts? Or are we talking about credits? I mean, what are we?
What did they give me?
Solid gold bars.
Were they gold bars?
Solid gold.
No?
I thought it was
they're
coins.
they're like the
They were
platinum chip things. Right?
when there was the switch happening between hard currency and credits, for a brief period of time, like the loonies and toonies, there were credit coins. And these were some of those credit
Loonies and
coins
toonies.
that were like Canadian coins that are like dollars. There are a number of these that still exist, and so they're not necessarily collector's items. You know, they're coins, but they're gold, and that does have value.
Credit coins.
Well, I guess maybe they're kind of hard to move around here, but I could probably do it for like 150 credits a day. I mean, it's a lot of risk. You have to understand I'm taking.
For all 5 ships, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you could park probably like 7 or 8 of them there if you really wanted to. Do you know a guy? Well, you're fine. You're fine, right?
Do I know a guy?
You said you don't want it more monitored, so is it Carbon Cartel that you're worried about?
Other teams as well.
Oh, you don't have to worry about other teams, really. That's fine. Okay, yeah, you're fine. 150 credits a day.
That is doable.
Okay. He holds out one hand. You can see these 3, and then each one is tipped with a little suction pad, but just kind of holds it out.
Echo like plops the case back into the seat of the tendon slicer, and then opens it up and tries to like stealthily hide the contents.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. Jeez.
Happily.
Because there's way more than 150 in there.
That is a 28.
28. Your hand goes in, and as the other eye blinks and the other one opens, in that brief second where they're both closed, your hands just, and you would just have the credits that you need. He looks out and just goes, whoa, that was fast. All right.
My reflexes do help when piloting shuttles and also lockout craft.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that you do shipping and also lockout, because, I mean, shipping's a pretty stable gig around here. Not many of those, but
Everyone needs a day job, especially when starting out.
I guess. I mean, you're renting my car. I don't care. Anyways, he goes back inside and he returns with a little data slate. And on this slate, there are both coordinates and what you recognize is a sequencer that will unlock it is sort of a security system. This is something that is not directly similar to how you would take your ignition cores out of the tendon slicers. That is not as intended, like I'm taking my keys out, but it functions the same way. This is very similar. It is part of what is essentially an air conditioning unit. Without this, there is a circuit that is not complete somewhere, and you imagine inserting this will make these very large doors open and also provide air conditioning.
Nice.
But-
Appreciated. Godfrey, I presume.
Yeah, it's a little messy. So need to move some stuff around. They left some old shipping crates and stuff like that in there, and most of them were broken into, and there might be some bodies in there too, but they're not for me. Just people going to die down there. A lot of times the captain will get them, and it's okay. Foxtrot too, but
The captain.
yeah. Willie Soki from Bloodwalk.
That's my new best friend.
Does Echo know of this?
Make a cultures check.
This is.
Do I get to decrease the DC because of
You
the
do.
criminal underworld?
No, you don't actually.
He's not a criminal.
What team is this?
It's a 16.
Bloodwalk?
It's not a team.
So you
just the
said
guy
you tried.
that you mentioned.
16.
Like a pirate.
You've never heard of them before. But he kind of nods and just goes,
The Crusty Cutlass. Are you gonna make us meet the Crusty Cutlass?
Krusty Cutlass is out of the system now. Yeah. Not that you would know that, but the Krusty Cutlass was the reason that it was like even there because it's on its way out. He kind of nods and just goes, "Yeah, so they take most of the bodies anyways. Not really sure why, but it'll be fine.
We
Just,
will leave them outside the unit for them to easily collect.
you could probably just space it out as long as you could haul it away. There might be like, I don't know, maybe less fortunate types down there. You could shoo them out of there too."
Understood. Your cooperation is appreciated.
He nods, and you can see one eye blinks and then the other. Make a sense motive check.
$33.
You can see across the liquid crystals underneath these glass-like scales, there is this kind of warbly thing that almost looks like fuzzy or maybe nervous. And you recognize it's not quite that. As his color is getting a little paler, you recognize that he's feeling a little guilty.
He overcharged you.
No.
But he nods and just goes, "So, yeah,
Con.
anything else you need?"
From the null space, they're just gonna slowly slide out the clockwork sword and just kind of lean on it.
"Oh, I really don't want any trouble. I thought we're doing a trade here."
We are doing a trade. This is the final line of the contract.
"Oh, make an intimidation check."
18.
I didn't really mention this because it's not really like a selling point, but sometimes I think smugglers use it too to just move things to and from there. And just be careful.
Slides it back in.
If anything were to happen to the ships and it were discovered that you were part of it, I would be displeased.
Me too, because I don't know anything about it. But mostly just be careful because they might just be... They're always like kind of the carbon cartel people that are doing that. So just be careful.
You know, parking spot, but it's with the Carbon Cartel.
Appreciated.
Kind of nods. "So, is there going to be anything else? You going to threaten me at all, or..."
No, I have already paid, have I not?
"Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay,
your
I'm
time.
going to go back inside now." And he just waddles back inside. You can see all the color just, as soon as he walks inside, just splashes out, very pale, very nervous from that interaction, but a little richer.
Echo has Echo like hops back into the cockpit and like starts to pull away, and then like sends out a brief overview of everything that they just discussed, complete with the possible carbon cartel activity.
Sure. So as we flash over, to the Liberteca with Gibbs and Spice, for the two of you, you are parking in this kind of structure. You can see the individuals off to the side who are part of this congregation out front. Don't seem to take any special notice of what you are doing, too enraptured in the lead individual who is speaking.
Can I overhear what he's saying?
Make a perception check as you pop the canopy and get out of your ship.
31.
31, even at this distance. I mean, it would be tough normally,
Got
but
big ears.
you can see they are gathered around one individual who is not really dressed around the others. And the individual who is speaking to them, it's hard to tell. They don't really have any features that would indicate a gender or even really a race. You can see a nose and eyes, and there are elements of cheekbones, but it is almost just like a mask of skin and then just mechanical parts all the way back. You can see they are currently At first, you thought they were seated, but as they lean forwards, this whole structure kind of grinds and moves, and you recognize it's almost like a throne or dais that is situated on gears, levers, and pistons that move this in a way similar to the Zinn crawler underneath these robes. But they lean over this individual and they say,
You possess a unique codex of the All Code. Do you seek to rid yourself of flesh and purify the steel?
and you could see this individual looks nervous and holding their like cred ship in their hand. They just kind of nod, and he gestures forwards and says,
I will unmake you. Come.
and he just gestures forwards, and together this group moves ominously into the structure, and the doors close behind.
Cool.
People move about here and there, just kind of going about their business. Here on the spine, there are a couple of what are essentially like open to the air stalls. And Gibbs, for you, you smell food instantly all across. There's no grocery stores on the spine. You have to buy food that is made. There is a few vending machines, although you wouldn't really know about that, but you can smell food right now. You smell very dirty oil, like cooking oil that has been reused for not days, more on the magnitude of years, for sure.
Nice.
You can
Got
smell just
flavor.
layers of flavor that have built up. There are all kinds of things that are kind of intermingling here, and it is almost overwhelming for a second, but then that replaces with just the thick as your stomach rumbles. And right across the way, you can see this. Oh no, that's all you can see. You can see the entrance to a. Oh, both of you read Vesk.
Yes.
So you can see
Convenient.
on the other side of the of the Liberteca, there is what looks like almost a sort of wall that has been built out of junk and various elements. And there is a Vesk sign in neon that has been lit up, and it reads Warvok Shorn, which you would read in common as the Shame Den.
The what?
Shame den.
The Shame Den.
Like, is that sexy neon or like grungy neon?
Yeah, with like a little leg that moves up and
It
down.
is.
Is it a dentist's office with
Make a
neon?
cultures check.
Or is it like a escort club with neon?
Culture
Natural 20!
With a natural 20, Gibbs, a couple of things strike you all at once. First, there's nothing really sexy about this.
It's a dentist's
neon.
office with neon.
It is.
But
Shame.
Shorn, the word for shame in Vesk,
Yeah.
it being a single word, unlike other ones that you've seen, even the Serpent's Doom was the Takatosh or Shy. This is just a very simple word. And so that, in almost any language, means that it's a very profound and important one. And the idea of shame within the Vesk is not something that you're familiar with necessarily, but you get the sense that a proudly, very warrior-oriented empire that spans several worlds and claims much of the galaxy as their own, in ideological senses anyways. The idea of shame is very strong. And so for them to call something that's pretty important. And it is not the name of a single building, it is the name of an entire district.
Oh.
And that is what lays beyond. And you can see beyond that place, the very diverse population shifts dramatically to Vesk. And within there, mostly with green hues to their scales, there are a tremendous number of Vesk, all of them in dark shades of green, with horns along the ridges of their face, and with intricate LED neon-looking implants that serve as light-up tattoos to these Vesk. You can see symbols of fangs and dragons and various weapons carved across them. And yeah, that is what you see. What are you doing?
You hungry?
You look over at Spice, who is feverishly playing Magic Card Deck on her communicator, and she's like, yeah, whatever, sure.
You want to stay here and watch the shifts, or you want to come?
What? Sure, either.
Okay, why don't you leave Spice alone? I'm hoping she's watching the shifts.
Okay.
But also understanding
teams can
that
function with 3 shifts.
she gets. She is closer to the personality that the Biblioteca probably is catering to.
I send over to the all team group the instructional video for taking out the ignition cores.
It's just shade is. Oh. I didn't see you there. and just start going through the process. Yeah, it's a very monotone instructional video.
So you
Fast forward,
just
fast forward, fast
purchased
forward,
your
fast forward,
very
fast forward.
first tendon slicer.
Gibbs pulled out the ignition into the cheek pouch.
Oh my god, you're gonna Houdini.
And your fur, as it just discharges a little bit of electricity into you, and you up, all the liquid within the bottle bubbles a little bit for a second, and with a little smoke coming off your head and that one little bit of electricity out, you are fine. But it is now in your pouch, and you make a note to maybe ground that next time
Yeah,
first.
okay.
A normal Yosoki is just really soft and fuzzy now, but Gibbs' fur is gonna stick like that until she does something
yeah.
about it.
Absolutely. Good
I'm a
style.
porcupine.
It's like a
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I follow my gut like I always do and go find some food.
I think Spice will not pay attention, but mindlessly follow Gibbs.
Oh,
And
okay.
you're like, yeah, I'm going to watch this. And then with
Yeah,
your hands down,
no.
you're just like following your parents. No problem.
Nice.
You can kind of see like Gibbs's tail out of the corner of your eye, and that's what you're really following.
Yeah.
No problem. And Gibbs, if you're following your gut, are you following? So, what does that mean? Because if you're going towards
your
like the most
nose,
delicious
wherever it
smell,
goes.
that's different than like, you know,
So Gibbs has to
delicious
get a
smells
little
by
above her primal instinct and understands that the goal is to also integrate with society. So tries to find like a shopkeeper food stall of hopefully someone of sort of like natured, someone who like, I don't know, is there a Yosoki nearby?
make a perception check.
Cool. I'll take it, whatever.
Oh,
17 plus 9 is 28.
There is.
26.
Give me 1 second here. All right.
Perception.
You can see that there is amongst the kind of rabble here. You met Kapaxi before. You can see one of them kind of walk by, and they are holding like a laser in their arms, just very casually. But nobody here is walking unarmed, and you notice that too. There is an individual that is a Yosoki. Excuse me. Very tan colored. You can see they are wearing overalls, and those are over coveralls, and so. A lot of alls happening across this Yosoki.
All the alls.
But they are standing in front of a little stall that in common reads emulsification gel. And it's like handwritten across the kind of sign. And they look pretty pleased. And for what it's worth, they look like a well-fed Yosoki.
Yum! Emulsification gel.
Yeah. Do you want some?
How much for a portion?
I mean, for a glob, for one, like
For 2.
2. Are you paying in credits?
I have old coins.
Can I see them?
Yeah, I have old coins in my inventory.
You just pull out a handful of old coins.
Yeah.
Looks
I don't know
at
what
them
they
and
are.
kind of paws them into his hands and just goes, I don't know what these are either. Okay.
Yes!
Tucks them in, and you can see he reaches behind him and he pulls out a jar and boom, thuds it down. And what's inside looks kind of like what is within a pimple when you pop it,
Oh.
but just completely smooth. There's no texture to it. It's just like it looks liquid, but when they take the
like a big jar of Crisco.
cap off and they turn it to the side, it's almost like very slowly turning, almost like a very solid like Vegemite sort of material. And they just reach in with their little Yosoki paw and a glob out. And they just go, hands or mouth?
Here. And I have like a green bean can.
Tourist. Right in there. And it goes right into the surface and it doesn't slide down. It like takes a very long time to like slowly make its way down. But it is this like very ever so slightly green, pale kind of gel.
Yum! Ariana's not excited about this, but I don't know.
Non-Newtonian
You
fluid.
offended him.
So, yeah. Oh, okay. Hey,
Yeah.
what's your name?
My name's Oscar.
Oscar. I'm Trinket. Nice to meet you. We're a brand new lockout team.
Cool.
Where do we sign up for the tournament?
Lockout. Oh, you're here for I don't play lockout. We have a team from the Blood Walk.
Blood Walk. What's the Blood Walk?
It's where all Yosoki hang out. It's the best place.
Oh, where's that?
It's It's the blood walk. You're new here.
I am.
So if you go down towards the diamond deck, but you don't go all the way in, and it's not really good for full-size folk. It's better for people like us because it's not really officially like a floor or a chamber or anything like that. It's
Half
kinda-
floor.
Yeah.
Half floor.
Yeah. They build them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go there, we have our own team. They're called the Flying Fangs. Cold Brew's the captain, and you can maybe talk to them about it. But they have pilots.
Cold brew, love that.
Yeah, and they even have their own ships and everything.
Great. Can I see our ships from here?
You turn. Yep.
Okay, they're still there.
Yeah, you've gone very few feet. You turn, and Spice bumps into you.
You're no help when you're not paying attention.
What?
Okay.
What do you need me to do? Yeah, well, he said something about lockout, so that's good.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Do you want to do anything other than go hang out on our ships and wait for?
No, I just want to sign up for this lockout.
Very well.
Is there a sign up for the lockout?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
But as you take this gel, we'll cut over to Bubbles and Shade.
Did I get the message that Echo sent? Well,
No.
Spice doesn't.
No.
Well, actually, Spice might, 'cause Spice is looking at her communicator.
Probably
Oh no, but
immediately
swiping away
swiped
those
it off.
notifications, bruh.
Getting in the way of the game.
Bubbles and Shade. Excuse me. The two of you find your way outside of the Zinn Crawler primary defensive platform. You see opposite that the shipyard of Zinn. You see opposite that a sign that leads to what looks like a very large transit deck, and above that in common a sign that says Diamond Deck, and likely the way to that district. But what would you like to do?
So we land. No issues.
No issues.
Nice.
There are definitely people who look and kind of like regard you as you do and as you're opening this craft. With your previous perception check, you kind of, that's what you notice.
I guess what would be the direction to meet up with the rest of the team?
You would
From
have to
where we are.
walk perpendicular to those two things that I've mentioned, so kind of away from everything I've talked about, and often in the direction you could move. You all will need to move a little bit further. You guys will have to catch up with everybody else much further. So roughly like a half an hour, 15 minutes, depending on whether you're going to run or walk.
I think I would message the group or like com to the group to try and figure out where we should meet up. So I would com to the group.
Does anyone get my report?
Yeah, I would
Wait,
move
yeah,
your
I
shit.
I think everybody but Spice.
What report was it?
Where to park?
Where to
We're
park.
gonna move
Oh.
to the
Yeah.
parking
Yeah.
garage.
I didn't know you sent that info. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
A whole rundown. Literally everything that happened. Echo files the paperwork.
Cool. Then
You
I
park
guess,
and we're like, oh wait.
yeah. Then I guess we would.
Oh, nobody's watching. Cool. You fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah, Captain, did you get this message from Echo?
Yes, we should relocate the ships.
Oh, okay.
And then I would com to Spice and Gibbs. Did you get? I'm calling.
Oh, I pick up and I'm like, yeah, and I'm integrating. Look at what I got. This is so cool. Look at this emulsion gel. And I FaceTime you this like picture, this jar filled with emulsion gel. And I'm like, look, I integrated.
It's not good looking.
It looks gross. Sounds gross. Wait, is it at all good?
No.
Oh,
It tastes kind of like.
Was I ripped off?
No. Make a sense motive check and take a +6 conditional
I
modifier.
bet he thinks it's good.
I was gonna
Sense
say, did you send
motive.
it to the group chat?
Yeah. So that's 29 plus 6 is 30,
29
plus 6 is 35.
35.
This is a chemically emulsified mixture of, and a couple things come together all at once for you. You had heard that Yosoki well, no, you hadn't heard. One of your teammates had heard that Yosoki go and gather corpses from around the place, and
you're
also
eating
other kinds of
bodies.
like
It's
trash
people.
and refuse. And Yosoki are survivors, and they pride themselves on really being able to thrive anywhere. And food is food. And looking down, you are eating a lot of different things all at once, and it's really hard to tell.
Eyeball like floats up and it's like, ugh!
No, so this is so emulsified that it is a single gelatinous paste that is homogeneous. There are no chunks or anything in this once it's poured into it. The chunkiness comes from the texture of just ripping it apart from itself. It tastes like cabbage and meat, and it is sweet, but also very smoky and not a little bit bitter.
Gibbs is starting to realize that there are people in the universe who are grosser than she is.
In short, emulsification gel is people.
Gross.
Yeah, Gibbs will like politely do like whenever we're not in like the arm's reach of Oscar or whatever, like whenever we've like started to like drive off, just like yeet the jar out.
No problem. And it slowly
We'll
and then
drive with
falls.
it like hanging out the window and
No
we'll
problem.
litter this grossness elsewhere.
Okay.
Not the friend she wanted.
So with Echo's report received and with Spice essentially in tow, you all make your way back to your ships and then fly out from the spine and towards a region which you would recognize is a little bit closer to Warvok Shorn. Following the coordinates and following Echo primarily, Echo, this is leading you to a area that you know to basically be just exhaust ports and things like that. But as you get closer, the element that you have that is essentially a air conditioner like circuit, you could see a place where that would fit in. And being an android, without any problem, if you want, you can like pop the cockpit and just stick this thing in. Okay. Where the pipes would meet and where you imagine normally a wall would be, a seam opens up. And a huge doorway begins to slide aside and jams. And it grinds, and you can see a little bit of smoke and a couple sparks, and then the power goes out. Oh, okay. Make a sleight of hand check. You see smoke, you see sparks.
Double check my score, cause I don't want to tell a lie.
6.
That's a 28.
28. With the 28, you yank it out just before it overpowers everything, and you can smell, even in the vacuum of space, the smell of circuitry burning. This is, you just get it out in time, but you don't burn out the motor entirely. And that's good, because there is something on the other side of this that is keeping this from opening. You can look around and see a couple places where, sealed from the outside but only through like welding, there are maintenance hatches from when these were just like habitable structures, and you could probably force your way in a variety of other places to open it from the other side.
Did the door like shut, or is there a space for Echo to
There's a
get out?
space, yeah.
Echo is going to power down the tenon slicer, pop the core, concealed compartment.
Okay.
Whoop.
Okay.
Just peek around the door and see what's blocking the door.
So you can all kind of find areas along the ledges of the structure to put the tenon slicers. It's not a good place to leave them for a long time. They're not stable, but as you are just kind of looking, you can certainly do that.
Can I grease the door?
Huh?
Can I grease the door? Is this an electronical problem? or a
Echo's looking to
mechanical
see what the problem is.
problem? Oh, okay.
You peek in.
So wait, we're all there now?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we're. Oh, we are there?
Yeah, you're all there. And so right now, everybody but Echo's in the ship. Anybody who wants can get out with Echo. You are leaving your ship in a way that if the crawler takes a especially stumbly step, they could fall off. And that would not be great. But
I do not recommend leaving the ship before we have an idea of what is going on. I at least can get faster back into the cockpit.
Yeah, okay, go.
you look in and you can see within there are a tremendous number of shipping crates, several of which have slid forward at some point in the transit of this and just fallen against the door. The door is dented in such a way that these have fallen together, that this is kind of wedged, and you would need to extract them in some way. And as luck would have it, there is what is essentially like a forklift that is just a little further in. It is upended and would probably require very light maintenance to get going. But of more concern, and just because of how fast you are and with that last sleight of hand check, you can whoop right out of sight if you want. At the moment, there are certainly individuals that are within. And you can see there's a number of crates that they are moving, and they sure look like smugglers. Would a visual perspective be helpful?
Love visual perspective, Joe.
Go ahead and clear some space for us.
great
We'll
time.
bring out this visual perspective, then we'll go to break.
There's sushi. Eat yo sushi.
How big is this visual perspective? I wonder.
I don't know.
Oh, there she
I like
is.
your hat.
Thanks.
That's not like a costumey hat. It's like it seems
a
really
hat.
nice.
That there's a hat.
Where'd you get it?
Watch out.
Oh,
Careful of the
camera.
Just missed it. That's
wow.
I got
Oh, look,
this
there's a
corner.
Jacinto poster.
Got it.
Fuck.
Everything as you see it. Echo, you see where all those shipping crates are slid forward into the door?
Uh-huh.
You are just to the right of that, and the individuals that you are seeing are those two that are up there, kind of keeping
So we're
guard.
like over here.
So we're here.
So
the
Echo
right
is
of
to the right of that red, right there, literally right in that spot. And you guys can all enter
On this
from
wall.
a 5-foot spot wherever Echo puts themselves. That is that thin opening in that door.
Okay.
The shipping crates need to be pulled up. Ooh,
Where's our doodads?
Our man's
your minis are up on the mini shelf thing.
Well,
We can grab
we're
it.
gonna.
Oh,
we're
right,
gonna
we're gonna go to break. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we're going to go break. So I'll do this in a second. So my I actually have like a wheeled forklift thing in it.
Oh, nice.
But you see exactly what you can see in front of you. You can see this in much greater detail at Alberon RPG on Instagram when it gets posted at some point next week. But Echo, you peek in, you can see there are all kinds of posters, some of them paper, some of them like lit up with a little bit of backlighting LED, some flicker, but many of these are still powered. There are people kind of moving. You can hear voices. Make a perception check as one last thing before we go to break.
27.
27. With the 27, the voices are kind of echoing, but you recognize they're like laughing kind of, and they have no idea that you're here. At the moment, you seem to have ducked back without them being aware.
Nice.
And because it is 8:15, we'll step away for a quick break before we figure out what to do next. But thank you for sticking with us for this session so far. We will be back in just a little bit. You'll see a countdown on your screen. We'll see you then. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I sat down off center. We're going to get right back into our game. You okay, everyone? Just, let me give us some different music here.
Mom in back.
Okay.
I love this.
Thank you, it's Emily.
Oh.
So
Emily, I
you
love
can
your
see
taste.
this encounter map in front of you, but you can see it in much greater detail when there are pictures posted at Alberon RPG. There are a lot of details on this one, and so highly recommend you check out the Instagram at Alberon RPG when this is up. But switch this real quick. So for you, Echo, you can see all of this kind of within. You hear the voices talking, kind of chattering amongst themselves. There's laughter, and that indicates to you that you have not been spotted.
WhisperCon.
What are you saying?
We are not the only ones here. A smuggling team has beat us to the location. We do, however, have the element of surprise. We should find a secure place to park the tendon slicers, where if the crawler were to make a movement that was significant enough, they would not fall.
Eviction notice for the smugglers, or are we going elsewhere?
I believe an eviction notice is in order.
Great.
Perhaps it would be better to draw them out. We have our ships.
I would prefer to do things without anyone watching.
Well,
And we do not currently have much weaponry that would be of use against smaller targets.
pretty useful. But we've zapped people before with ships.
We might also hit
Yeah.
the storage facility.
Yeah, because where
And this is a crawler.
is it in? So are we?
And you think about that
we
huge
in
defensive
the-
platform that's up above.
So we're like in the underbelly, kind
No,
of.
you're along the side.
Oh, okay.
We're in the ribcage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right by parking
Okay.
the
I thought
ribs.
we were like at the bottom. Like,
No, you're near the bottom left kind of like leg, between the middle leg and the bottom left leg.
Okay.
Along like where the ribs would be if this
Gotcha.
was a living
if it was,
creature.
yeah. If it was a.
I think it is.
Sure.
I think it is.
So there's the door that Echo's standing on the surface with which I'm parking my little tendon slicer.
Yep.
Is there other like windows, vents, things that would indicate?
Make a perception check.
Right. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. That was not good. 11 plus 17 is 28.
You see a number of other things that at different points were windows, access panels, things like that, but they've been welded shut, both from the outside and the inside. You could force them open for sure, but it would take some time and make some noise.
Okay. So I'm gonna park.
Okay.
Do I need spacesuit? No. I should be good, right?
You should be good as long as you don't fall off.
Yeah.
If you fall off and you lose contact with the crawler itself, you're going to lose whatever benefit it is providing to people along the outside. And so,
I'll get you if it falls.
Right. So okay. So I'm gonna park my car.
sure,
Get out.
sure,
Zuba 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 over to Echo
okay,
by like climbing.
sure.
Great.
You climb along this kind of, it's almost like a catwalk,
Okay.
and you can make your way along the outside of this and to the area that Echo is at.
I do
Is
it
everybody else
quietly.
going?
Yeah, because there's a way to park it without having them fall.
Yeah, so if you think about you can see the cardboard around here.
Yeah.
The cardboard that's in front here,
That's
it
the
extends a little bit
landing
further and it
platform,
goes out like this and then it goes along and then in, and you would imagine almost like if these aren't ribs, but these are the individual landing or cargo bays, and you are parking along the kind of almost like the eaves of those.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's no way to like keep it on an auto hover, like just off as
You
if it's
can,
like,
but the Zinn
in-
crawler is moving.
True. Fair. Okay. Yeah. Then I guess just land it and
Sure.
crawl over.
So place yourselves where you would like to be around here.
Yeah.
And you can hear they are
Close out.
moving crates, they are moving things and trying to utilize this kind of forklift structure to do that.
You coming?
I will also do the same quietly.
Okay.
Sneaking over. Yeah.
Where do you want to be, Shade? You want
Everybody
to be
go ahead and make a
next
stealth check.
to Echo?
Echo 2, or is Is this like a group stuff?
Echo, you're fine.
Nice. Okay.
Hey! Why did I get so stealthy?
There you go.
Oh,
Don't question it.
So you're a tiny little rat person.
yeah, but I was negative before, and now I'm at +7.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Dump your skills
I
into
did
it.
put my skill ranks into it. Yeah, literally it was like, oh, we have to be undercover. Guess I'm gonna.
Nice.
35.
35, okay.
I'm 16 plus something.
Okay.
Wait, I'm 14 plus 9, which makes me 23.
Okay. Pretty good.
Killing it.
I'm
Spike.
27.
Okay. Yeah. Bubs, all down to you. You don't hear your party.
Festus is not being nice.
Okay.
It's like 7 or something, or 6.
Total?
So
Oh, hold on, there you go.
23.
It is- Oh, plus 9.
Hey, look, we
you're fine.
match. We have so many similar stats.
16 plus 9 is
25. So with a 25,
I was
all
so proud
of
of
you.
their team.
relatively quiet, and part of it is that there is the grinding of this big metal beast that is moving across the surface. Part of it is that maybe no more than 10 feet away, the vacuum begins to swallow the sound. But whatever the case may be, you make your way quietly along this gangplank and up to the door without drawing any attention. Echo, you can see the only one that really you have a good line of sight on is this Vesk. The person next to them seems to have almost like probably close to 3/4 cover because of where you are. You don't get the sense that they've seen you yet. They're kind of looking away and gesturing over and away from where you can see.
Foils.
Okay.
Blind sense for 30 feet for sound.
Okay. So you extend these echolocative ears, and as you do so, you can pick up a little bit more of the conversation that's happening from this Vesk that is over here. You see the one that's gesturing up on top, and they seem to be having a conversation through communicators. At this distance, you can only hear one side of the conversation, but make a perception check.
28.
Okay. You can hear this voice say,
Korvach ton vinhen, not quickened.
and you get the sense that they're speaking Vesk.
So Echo is aware of 3 now?
You're aware of 3 for sure, and at that point, one of them turns around and you can see they shake their head, and so there's at least one more that they are gesturing to off to the side. So there's at least a couple of them.
Echo holds up like 4 fingers.
Okay.
And then like gestures up there and like
Echo uses hand signals, very much like baseball, to gesture and communicate to all of you
Spice
the layout that they're
unclicks
aware of.
her sniper
Okay.
and slides the silencer on the top.
This look is so wild. No
Who
problem.
is she? I don't know.
I really don't.
Glamour Projector is doing
Yeah, for real. No problem. You unclick the sniper rifle, you pull it out. Anybody else doing anything?
Getting my weapons ready.
Sure.
Yeah, get my weapon ready.
I'm gonna
Combat
prepare a
tracking
spell.
stuff.
Okay.
Can I scooch closer?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go behind this crate, this convenient little Gibbs-sized hole right here. Oh, that I
Sure.
just like fucked up. But there's a little hole.
It is a little Gibbs-sized hole.
Nice. With these posters right here in my face about this other lockout team that's less good than us.
So you rush over and you put your face right up to this poster. And I believe the one that you're looking for is one about, it's a recruitment poster. And this recruitment poster says something about an individual wanting you. And you squint and there's gum on it. There is like little, like what looks like things that have been tacked into it and all elements, things that have been plastered over it. And so it's hard to make out exactly what it is. But if you take this, you could probably bring it and maybe do like a charcoal rubbing and figure out exactly what it was at some point. It seems to be a recruitment poster though for a team. I would say that you can make out, give me 1 second here. Go back to my Zinn crawler document.
You trip over a crumpled up poster. Right there.
The Star Cobras.
Nice.
Echo wants to like slink up to this station here to get a better vantage point.
No,
like
make a stealth
crouch
check.
down.
Is this flammable? Fuel.
Yes.
Probably.
Can we move up closer still?
So 24.
Yeah, you can. With the 24. For you, Echo, maybe it is somewhat familiar sights, crates that are similar to ones that you've seen, infrastructure that's kind of more similar to what you might call home. But you're a little bit careless. You're louder than many of the rest of your team, which is still quite quiet. Nobody seems to have noticed you yet.
Is Echo able to see any more figures from their vantage point?
And as you rush over there and you kind of duck into the shadows and peer out, you can see just with these two glowing blue eyes that there are two more individuals. One is a Lashunta, one is a human, and they are up on what looks like a concrete barricade, or at one point what may have been a sort of the base of a crane. You see far behind them, and it's easy to see them because from behind, it almost looks they are maybe irradiated. There's a glow that comes from them. A four-armed, Kasatha. They have a mask that is drawn up over them, and as people put crates onto this structure, you can see they wave a hand, and there is a glimmer of magic that just sweeps across the crates.
Echo like whisper comms the team. It says
There are 6 targets total, with one seeming to have abilities similar to Gibbs.
Dibs.
Yeah. Okay.
It would
And
be-
sorry, it's the which one? The ready guy or the?
the purple cloak in the back. I'm
Kasatha.
assuming.
All the way in the
that guy?
back. Yeah.
Oh, that's real far.
Gibbs,
Yeah.
it would be wiser for you to focus on the ones that are not as capable as you.
Okay, I'll help.
Bubs and I will go.
Sounds good.
She says,
That guy. I need to get new batteries for this thing.
Yeah. I'm like, how many feet is that from me? Sounds great, Captain.
Bubs and I will focus on.
Take out your magnifying glass. Or your
12, 16, 17. All right, 17 times 5.
It's like 90 something, maybe.
Great.
So what are you doing, Echo?
Echo, like kind of looks over at Spice.
Yeah, you see her, whatever's attaching a silencer, and then she'll meet your gaze.
And whisper comms you and says,
On your mark.
Where do you want to be, Bubbles? You're the only one who hasn't moved
What?
yet.
so basically Echo's just like, you take the shot, we all go.
Yeah.
Okay, but if it's silent,
Well, they're gonna see somebody drop or get hurt.
Echo, as you're watching.
You think that I'm going to hit something?
Echoes,
You should.
you've got your
You got your new gun stuff.
Echo, as you're watching,
all
the human kind of goes down, and you can see he's having a conversation now with this Kasatha. At first, the human walks over to one of the crates, and you can see they try to surreptitiously kind of open it, and the Kasatha, 2 of their arms just shut the crate. And they're having a conversation now about that.
Alright, so Spice is going to take out her plasma guide with
Okay.
the silencer on it. Move action, activate the guided property so no one has protection from cover.
No problem. All of a sudden, in the scope itself, each of these people is outlined with a thin seam that makes them stand out much more than they did before.
She's aiming. Yeah, there's a little microscopic little blue heart that appears on the Kasatha. And Spice holds her breath, and she's going to shoot the Kasatha.
Okay, so the way that this is going to work, with the help of Echo's infiltration, you are all getting a surprise round.
Nice.
And so each of you is going to get a chance to go first. After that, we will go straight into initiative the traditional way. So, why don't actually everybody roll for initiative, and that's how we'll do the surprise round.
ooh, nice.
I'm here to change up on these.
Did you get a natural 20 on
Yes!
initiative?
We have a surprise round already!
Wow.
Hey, that's good though. That just means you get to fucking start us off.
Again.
So, with initiative, we have Echo up at the very top. Anybody else with natural 20? Okay, let me just check.
Can't
Gonna be the
find my
only natural
initiative.
20 I get
Oh,
all games.
Yeah.
Anybody with a 25 to 20?
24.
21.
24 for Shade, 21 for Bubbles. And then do we have 20 to 15? 15 to 10.
10.
Okay.
Oh no.
10 for Gibbs. What about you, Spice?
9.
Ooh, okay. So, the way that this all works out...
I didn't heal my stamina points after last.
Echo, you are leading us off, followed
You
by
should,
Shade,
'cause
followed
we
by
rested.
Bubbles, followed by Gibbs and then Spice in our surprise round. When we go into main initiative, the outfit will go between Bubbles and between Gibbs. So Echo, as everything slows down, you could hear the sound of the round chamber in Spice's gun. You could hear the microscopic creak of the trigger as it begins to depress, and you know that this bullet is about to fly. So what do you want to do? This is on Spice's mark.
So, by on Spice's mark, Echo had intended that everyone act as soon as, like, after Spice fires.
This is kind of like you can hear the trigger being pulled, and so all of this is happening at once.
Heard.
Yeah.
Echo is probably in the best place to make it over and finish off anyone over in that general direction with the Kasatha. So Echo
25,
would zip
30,
all the way over to
35,
just on the
40.
opposite side of the... no, Echo's got 80.
Oh, okay.
That goes real fast.
Echo's gonna zip over to this right here. And would use oh, listen to that music.
Yeah.
That's some good music.
Thank you.
Echo's gonna make a trick attack
Thank you, Sirenscape.
against probably the human with the Kasatha.
Okay.
So stealth first. So that's 32 for the stealth check.
And that's 1.5 times CR?
2.
2.
So it's 20 plus CR, sorry.
20 plus CR, gotcha. And what was the roll?
32.
That is high enough.
Yay! Hail pistol. 30-20?
That is not going to be high enough, unfortunately. And though you are incredibly fast and incredibly stealthy, you race. As you hear this shot begin to ring out from Spice, you race forwards. You are already beyond most of this ship, and you hear the Vesk, what? As you run by, you are already like another 40 feet beyond him, and you take the shot, and as you do, the human turns over and goes, look, it's just Tetra sticks. And he like turns at just the right moment, so this shot goes right past where his head just was. And you miss. And suddenly he freezes, you freeze, time stands still. But anything else, Echo?
Nope.
All right, that is Echo's natural 20. Another surprise round. That brings us to Shade. Shade, what would you like to do? Bubbles, you're on deck.
I'm gonna jump jets over here.
So after Spice's shot likely rings over your shoulder, you ignite the jump jets following in that trace.
No,
And then
Whatever it is that Spice... Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
is this? I believe this is within 60 feet, right?
Almost
This is
certainly,
20
yeah.
foot radius, so yeah.
That's 20.
Yeah.
This, yeah,
Oh.
this.
Read, yeah.
Oh, 20-foot radius, so 40 feet for that. That doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it 30? I think it's 30.
That was
They're
20
about,
foot
you're
radius.
about 50 feet away.
Okay. I'm gonna exocortex distracting hack and then gravity gun try to pull him.
All right.
off
That's
the-
against sense motive?
Yeah, it's the bluff check one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. Well, I think it's I roll and it's the DC is the
Gotcha. Okay.
10
Combat maneuver.
plus CR
Yeah.
plus sense motive. Yeah. And that's gonna be a 30 computers check.
That is just successful.
Cool. So they're flat-footed, and I'm gonna fire the gravity gun at them.
Okay. As you hack, you can see they are bringing up a weapon, some kind of a laser rifle, and suddenly the scope just ignites in the back. The glass blows out. They have to pull their head away, and they are rocked back on their feet.
I think that's a hit. It's this new thing. I can't find my. There it is. Yeah, that's gonna be a 32 to hit.
32 is
33 to
absolutely
hit.
that's absolutely a hit. Go ahead and roll
then,
damage.
So It's the gravity pistol, so it's got the
Oh, very
pull.
nice. How far is that pull now?
It is now 15 feet.
15 feet. And you're going forward or back?
I'm going forward.
Okay. So you level this pistol, you point, and as you press the trigger and you can feel the gravity lock onto this individual, you flick your wrist to the left and just yank them over the edge of this barrier. They go end over end. You can see their eyes closed from blinking out the glass of their scope.
They do make a reflex save. If they, the DC is 10 plus half the weapon's item level, which is because I made it 6 plus my dex, which is a 5, so 21 is the DC.
They rolled a 20. If you had not made this item, that would have not been successful. However, they grab with their toes the edge of this concrete and they almost keep themselves on, but there is a crumble as it cracks away this old material and they fall plunging overneath. You can see they land right at the edge of that orange poster, the one that depicts an echo unit, and they fall hard. You watch as they do take a little bit of damage going down. Actually, not a little bit of damage, a pretty good amount of damage. And you hear a crunch as the material that makes up the front of their armor just bends in and impacts. But anything else, Shade?
That is it for me.
Alrighty. Spice, you watch as the one in your scope just is like yanked off the concrete.
Nope.
But that is Shade's turn. That brings us to Bubbles. And Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubs is going to
That's true.
psych himself up. And he's going to first he's going to have his red magma hammer on his side for attached to his belt. And he's just going to psych himself up, and he's just going to just say, "Be the bubble," and he is going to hold his fist, and he's going to turn on his wrathful warrior.
Okay.
And in his doing this, he's like worrying about himself, like, don't go too far, don't push yourself too hard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to here behind the barrel, and I'm going to go behind the barrel facing this guy.
Sure.
I'm going to do for a full attack. The first attack is going to kick the barrel at him.
Okay.
And then the second attack is to throw the magma hammer at the barrel.
Sure, make an attack roll.
Damn.
Love that shit.
That's calculated.
You're just gonna like blow this guy up with a barrel of oil.
Yeah.
Super cool idea. Super cool idea.
The first roll is just to just kick it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna
believe
do
in
it
you.
20. That's an 18 plus I don't know what I
No
had.
problem. With an 18,
It's the
you
hardness
rush
against
forwards
the
and feeling this wrath build within your heart. You wind a leg up, and as you plant with your left, you thrust forward with your right, and you just kick this barrel. It bends, and you can see there is a little bit of this bright green liquid that just sprays out. And this isn't just fuel. This is like starship fuel. This is absolutely incredibly combustible. The fact that it strikes the ground, it doesn't explode, is kind of fortunate. But you kick this out, it strikes the Vesk like right in the thigh, and you can see they bend down. There's a grunt. And then your second attack?
This is the
We might.
the red hammer,
Yeah.
and I'm going to throw this.
Yeah. And are you throwing it at the Vesk or are you throwing it at the fuel?
I'm throwing it at the field.
Okay, make your
I
attack
should
roll.
have jumped like 4.
Yeah, I wish I
5
wasn't
feet
right the
more,
fuck here.
So I'd have a storage container between.
I mean,
I believe in you.
It's a pretty small container, and it's
Yeah.
not a
Oh, okay.
fuel cell like the
I
ones that
thought
you've
it was
detonated in
like
the
a
past.
drum of like starship fuel.
It's like a drum starship fuel. Yeah, it's not designed to explode like the fuel cells that you guys have exploded.
Right.
in the
okay.
past.
Yeah.
I
These are
believe
not
Dan.
munitions.
Okay.
This is fuel.
Okay. Yeah.
Dan's got
This
it.
is napalm. It's not.
that's a 2. But I'm going to use close enough.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Phenomenal. Don't even roll damage on that because this is a very thin aluminum canister. As you kick this, this fuel cell just rockets towards. There is this spray of green that just ignites almost like a comet's trail. And as it strikes into him, you throw the hammer, and the hammer just it misses entirely. And it just glances off the floor, and there is a single spark. And that spark ignites all of the fuel, which explodes. I need that little thing.
Oh, this thing that I
What
keep fucking
soldier
around with?
level do you get
Yeah,
that?
close
Level
enough is
9.
fucking dope.
Nobody else is taking damage.
Nice.
Nice.
I will say this essentially vaporizes what would be any amount of cover that could be obtained from this.
Oops.
Ooh, but my little cover is still good.
Yeah, roll a
The
d12.
barrel's gone.
My
too,
little
actually.
cover, my little cover.
A 12.
A 12. You deal 48 points of damage to this individual as this explodes, and they are covered in this like liquid already. So as it explodes and they are dropped prone, they are still up.
Oh, but
However,
burned
they are
me.
prone and they are on fire. The fuel itself is very much like napalm and has coated their scales.
Oh, God.
It sinks in between the individual plates and into the
God.
armor itself. And there is just this roar as they are like on fire, and almost immediately it chokes out because the fuel itself is burning the oxygen around them. They are probably suffocating at the same time.
The real reason
This-
Echo missed.
This is, yeah, that's pretty brutal. And Echo, as you're about to fire, there is a deafening explosion behind you. You feel a heat wave over. But this guy, he's looking kind of hurt now.
As Bubs does this, he thinks in his mind he doesn't have to just punch people and exert this energy to make the hits happen. Sometimes if he just does it smartly, he won't have to injure his own body.
Absolutely.
And then he's just going to say, I am the bubble.
You are the bubble. That is your turn, Bubbles. And that brings us to Gibbs. Spice, you're on deck, and then that will conclude our surprise round.
Where did my hammer go, by the way?
Your hammer, if you're going to throw it off there, it would probably be like in the direction of the Lashunta that fell.
Okay. Echoes kind of by themselves, and it's obvious Bubbles got this guy.
Is he prone?
That's your hammer.
Is he prone?
Yes, he is prone. You have two guys prone right now.
Yeah, I forgot to put the.
Gibbs is gonna scurry over here,
Okay.
avoiding the trail of acid, flammable acid, and try to give some support to Echo,
Okay.
and we'll attack the guy who's not the magic-y person,
Okay.
and we'll you know what, never mind. She's gonna wisp ally Echo.
Okay.
Continue her support trend.
So you hawk that loogie directly at Echo, and Echo, you fire wide. There's the explosion. You feel the heat wash over you. You turn to look what it is, and just right on your cheek, right into you, and it goes across the kind of organic part of your face, and then just across most of your body. You have this quote-unquote ally.
So this is going to give you, I'm doing covering, so this is going to give you +2 to your AC against the next attack that you get. So 1 attack per round.
There you go. Anything else, Gibbs?
No.
Alrighty, Gibbs, you scamper underneath this loading dock between the crates. You spit your wisp ally out, and that brings us to Spice. Spice, with your sniper rifle unhooked, what are you doing?
I'm going to
Do you have wisp ally?
still shoot as planned.
Make your attack roll.
I think it's
Note
brain.
that this is for
Wisp
calcium
ally
bullet,
together.
and
Yep.
I'm keeping track of how many I still have. Okay, well, it's going to be a 17 to hit.
17 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
You are far from this individual, and there's a lot happening. An explosion right in front of you. You could see Echo right on the other side. Shade leaps, and their jump jets puts them right across your field of vision, and you really have to kind of almost pull the shot away. You have to miss in order to not hit Shade. But no problem. You kind of steel yourself again. Anything else, Spice?
I'll move behind where Gibbs was.
Okay. You rush over behind the space, kind of peering between them. You can just barely see the down Lashunta, who is like picking themselves up off the ground.
Is that? I thought he was Vesk. Is that?
The one,
this one's
oh,
Vesk,
sorry,
that
all the way
one's
back
Lashunta.
there. Yeah, you can see the Vesk as well. But you could see the Vesk before. Now you can also see the Lashunta. Anything else, Spice?
That's it.
That concludes our surprise round and brings us to the top of the order. Suddenly, Echo, you could hear the Vesk in common from up above shout, "We're under attack!" And they seem to have finally caught on. What would you like to do, Shade? You're on deck.
No shit, Sherlock.
Echo is going to. Not a computerized crate, huh?
Zolkar, though.
Echo's going to like touch their communicator and cause it to like feed back and blare sound
Yeah, sure.
to distract with a computer's check. And I get +5, so that's 38.
As you reach out, easily you can make this blare out a loud, awful feedback sound that makes this individual cringe away from the shot that has just ricocheted by their ear.
This is again the Kasatha.
Yep.
26.
26 hits.
Yes! Yes!
And so as they glance away, 3 out of the 4 arms reach up to cover their face, cover their ears, the lone remaining one reaching back as if to begin to cast a spell. You are able to take advantage of their cowering state to land a shot through their defenses.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Nice.
Right, so that is 6, 16, 22, 29, 34 points of cold and
Nice.
piercing, and then we're going to
nice.
apply 10 because I'm a level 10 points of bleed damage to the Kasatha.
Amazing. As you say,
Kasatha's
no
bleeding.
shit, Sherlock, 3 of the arms cover up and you place the bullet almost directly between those 3. You can see just barely an element of their chin poking out, the bandana covering it, and you snake the shot underneath, and it doesn't land flush to the skull, but it tears out a chunk of their jaw. And as they pull back away, you can see the bandana is smoking and ripped. You see teeth, you see bone, you see just blood hanging out. They look back up, but they are hurt. Anything else? Echo.
Echo is going to zip to the other side of the vehicle so that she's like right, so they're right in front
Sure.
of the, right in
Other
front of
side.
the vehicle. Yeah, so basically using the vehicle for cover.
But goes all the way
Yeah.
around.
So you rush over there to that side of the vehicle, and Echo, where you are right there. For a second, you see Shade right in front of you, and that's weird, but it's not Shade. For a second, it threw you off because you had just previously seen Shade with both eyes, and you see him on that poster that is right there in front of Echo.
Oh wait.
That one?
Oh shit. My
Oh,
bad.
it is.
You can't see it because it's on the other side from
Hold on, I'll
you.
take a picture.
Damn.
What?
And you can see above this
The
picture
digital
of Shade
samurai?
in red writing, it reads, rest in peace.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Or maybe we remember. I can't remember
Oh,
exactly
no, it says
what I
R.I.P.
put. R.I.P. There you go.
Damn.
Totally wrong.
But that is what you see. Anything else, Echo?
Nope.
Alrighty, Shade, what would you like to do?
Oh, I'm
Who's
gonna
gonna
go
say-
kill this thing.
File
right.
that away for later.
So I'm gonna
Shit.
jump jets down, exocortex distracting hack again on him. So if it fails, it's gonna be -6 because he's prone as well.
Sure, yeah.
And then
So put yourself where you're going to go for
stab
jump jets?
down to here,
Yeah. Okay.
up, yeah, like up in his biz.
Easy, no problem. You leap off that shipping crate and you land right in front of them with a thud.
It's a 25 against the sense motive check.
That is not a success.
Okay, so -4, gonna make my attack. Nice, that's 18 on the die. I think it's like a 34, 35, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
Cool.
So, for damage,
For damage, it's gonna be Haboop-a-doo. I need some more dice for this one.
and this is with which weapon?
My micro-serrated longsword.
Gotcha.
Alright, that's 22 points of slashing damage.
All right. They were barely hurt before as they had just been yanked off this and kind of plunged down a couple feet. But as they peel themselves up, you take out this sword, and as you draw it, the thick part of the blade, it almost covers their whole face, but turning it to the side to strike, it is almost microscopically thin. And dragging this across them, the serrated teeth, almost like butter, just cut through flesh and bone just the same. And almost the clavicle is exposed as you cut deep into them. But they are still up. Anything else, Shade?
That is it for me.
All right. You can hear the Vesk behind you just screaming in pain as they are on fire. But that is your turn. That brings us to Bubbles and then the outfit.
Is this guy still breathing, or is he like?
Yeah, he's still breathing. He's on fire. He's
Oh,
not
okay.
suffocating, but he's not in great shape.
Okay, if he's I don't think he's gonna pull himself out. So I think I'm just gonna pull the 1, 2, 3. 6, 15. How high up is this?
That's 20 feet up. Or sorry,
20 or 15?
that's 15 feet up.
Okay. So I can do 5, 10, 15, and then 30. So I can put myself.
So you're going to run and just propel yourself up to the top level? Very nice.
And then I have. I'm gonna have the Dothco ready.
Okay.
And it's also.
With your hammer off on the floor, you
Yeah.
pull the Dothco out, you leap up, and with the jets in your boots propelling you forwards, you can see this Vesk and this Shiren, who are up on top, both with laser rifles that are pointed down in the general vicinity of probably Shade. What are you doing?
No, I have 10 reach. Can I reach one of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'm going to.
That's
attack
exactly 10 feet, yeah,
with
for
the
sure.
Dothco.
Because you're flush up against the structure, right?
I believe so.
Then yes, you can.
And this is just going to be a standard attack, nothing crazy.
I'm just flying with my rocket boots 50 feet into the air and hitting him with a hammer. Nothing crazy.
MBD.
11 plus.
No. As you
What was that?
Tuesdays, am I right?
15.
For a total of 26?
Yes.
That is a hit.
Nice.
And finally, Bubbles, you leap forwards, and with the momentum of the rocket boots, you finally land a hit flush. Is this on the Shiren or the Vesk?
I'll do the Shiren.
Sure.
What was it? D-Trons? The Dothco. Yeah, D-Trons. 10.
See my little. Oh, my hair looks dumb.
1. Okay, so 11 plus 18.
All right, so 29 points of damage.
Yeehaw!
As you leap forwards, you swing with the Dothco, and it just slams into the Shiren. They're hip-checked into this crate, and they almost get knocked over it, but they're able to hold on. They wheel around with the laser rifle now pointed at you. The Vesk turns to point at you as well. Anything else, Bubbles?
That's it.
All right. So that brings us to them. All right.
What did I add?
So first, they're going to move. This guy is bleeding. So limping 5, 10, 15 is going to get here. Here. This individual is going to stand up. And then this individual is also going to... Well, no, they're going to stay right there. They're going to extinguish their fire.
I was gonna say, are they gonna not stop, drop, and roll?
He's going to leap up onto the crate. The Shiren is going to back up, which would provoke an attack if you have a 10-foot reach.
I have the Dothco out, so I can't.
Right. Unwieldy. So they all shift into position. The Vesk goes forwards. The Shiren goes back, kind of reeling from that blow. But we will start with the folks up with you, Bubbles. This Vesk leaps forwards, and you can see they pull out a huge sword made out of blackened steel that has a hook at the end of it, and swinging it forwards, that is only going to be a 23 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
And just right off the momentum, almost just knocking the blade out of their hand. The Shiren, as they back up, is going to take a shot with their laser rifle. That is only going to be a 20 to hit. And taking the blow from your Dothco, unable to hit, they just fire wide and it strikes off the side of the roof. This Vesk, they're going to use their move action to put out the fire.
Oh.
Do they take damage at the beginning or the end of their turn?
I believe it's the beginning.
The beginning? So who
think for
put fire on them? Oh no, you
was
did.
the- yeah.
Barrel did.
Okay, so
From the
he's
crate.
not taking very much damage, but still a little bit.
Listed amount of damage at the beginning of your turn each round until the condition ends.
Very nice. So he uses his move action to end that, kind of rolling, stop, drop, and rolling across the ground. Once the flame is quenched, he gets up onto his arms, and a little shaky, he looks up at you, Bubbles. But that's all that he can really do. Shade, over near you, this Lashunta is going to bring out a serrated knife and try to just jab it at you. Does a 28 hit?
It does, actually.
All right. In a quick move, though they are dizzy, they are going to deal 17 points of slashing damage. As this hooks between elements of your armor. This is a calculated blow. They pull back, almost kind of rolling on one ankle. And then over by you, Echo, the human is going to take a shot with their laser rifle at you.
+2.
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Nope.
And that is all that they can do, and that leaves us with just our friend in this little forklift-style car. Echo, they are going to just steer forward. And can you go ahead and make a...
Like in Austin Powers, where it goes...
Can you make a fortitude
really
saving throw,
slowly?
please?
Not a reflex to dodge out of the way?
No, because you're flush up against it. It's not really dodging.
It's a dirty 20.
It's a dirty 20, but without any problem, you roll up on the hood and then off to the side as they attempt to run you over and fail to do so.
Oh, wow.
Forklifts move mad slow, don't they?
This isn't like a forklift, it's a cargo hauler.
It's a
and there's
space lift.
literally-
It's like one of those
Guys, don't worry.
like
Forklift.
airport. Yeah, it's like one of those
Yeah.
airport luggage
Pulls her in this
carriers.
direction. You can hear what sounds like a curse.
You have to be certified for that?
You should be. You hear a curse in Kasatha as they miss you, Echo. And Echo, technically, this would provoke an attack of opportunity if you would like it.
I would love it.
As you hit the hood and you go up, you are like almost about to bounce off what would be like the windshield of this thing, and you can see they're cursing, and you lock eyes with them as you go over, and they recognize they haven't really hit you. They're not in the best position.
24?
24 against.
EAC.
That hits.
Ooh. 14 points of cold and piercing damage.
And they're still up. But you can already see as they look up, the flesh hanging from the element of their jaw that you already blew away, they like can just barely track, and they barely duck out of the way in time where you were able to kind of shoot or this is with the clockwork sword?
No, this is the hail pistol.
Hail
cold and
pistol.
piercing.
You were able to pull it almost flush with their chest and just to press the trigger. The armor turns most of it aside, but you do see instantly there is crimson that begins to soak. Anything, or that is your attack of opportunity. He's going to turn around and move. Gesundheit. That was
One
a
more.
choice.
It's like 2 more. Take 2.
That was
One
a
more.
A couple of those, maybe like unwrap it.
What a choice. What a choice. So you can see he is going to turn around. It is technically move action. He is going to reach forwards to you, Echo. And can you make a will saving throw, please?
I believe in you.
Believe less in me. It's a 9.
That's a
Oh,
9.
God.
Okay.
That's terrible.
So, luckily, as he thrusts his hand out, you feel almost like an invisible hand push your chest, and you only slide 10 feet back.
Oh.
You get the sense that it could have been much further as the majority of the power rushes past you and just blows this against the wall. These all like blow out of the way, and you even hear the leg of that entire support shift ever so slightly.
I mean, kind of the best person to push back from our team.
But completely almost misses you. You just barely move. And that is all that they can do. You guys have them in not the best spot right now. That brings us to Gibbs. Spice, you're on deck.
Wait, this guy, magic guy?
Yep.
Okay,
seems to be-
okay.
You see he turns and whoof, magic at Echo.
Yeah, okay. That guy's not going anywhere because Gibbs is gonna uncork a bottle, shove a paw in, and just pull out like random gunk from the bottle, like all the chunks that float.
Sure.
And is just gonna throw it, and it's gonna combine in the air with like whatever, like in this 20-foot area, all of the
the
like-
guava stuff in the bottle.
yeah, all that like fucking biological bullshit that's like detached from people. It's just gonna start to make an eddy, a cosmic eddy, as Gibbs casts Cosmic Eddy, which in a 20-foot radius creates. I need a reflex save from Magic Guy and Dying Guy.
Okay. Magic Guy.
Oh, and the car.
Magic Guy
Wait,
is
it a
a
20-foot radius?
Yeah, but I'm centering it here.
29 for the Magic Guy.
That's
Natural 1 for the Dying Guy, as you so aptly put it. The car doesn't have a reflex save.
Okay, I'm hurting objects,
This is an object.
and I hinder movement.
This is a
Okay.
30-foot radius, so it's bigger than that.
This is 20-foot radius right here. This is 20 foot right
Yeah,
here.
that's always been
can't
20.
read.
Yeah.
You have one eye.
Because I cast a lot with 30, and
Yeah.
I need to do like 10 plus.
It
You
was,
imagine 10 more.
yeah.
Anyways, so he got 1 million, right? You said.
Yeah, he got
Okay.
28.
So, they're gonna take some damage, and then he's slowed down a little, I think.
Okay. As he is driving forward and cursing, you could see he's already spinning the wheel, but as the cosmic eddy rolls across him, the momentum of this car like grinds to a stop, and he is almost thrown over the handlebars.
Okay, so basically,
Bicycle.
it's gonna deal 46 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And because half passed and half didn't, they're gonna take either full or half based
Okay.
on whatever. Okay, so this is 12 plus 5 is 17. So 17 damage. The person who's failed is knocked prone.
Yep. That was 17.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
And then the area, I believe. Creatures in the area are knocked prone and are reduced to half speed while the spell is in effect.
Yeah. So right now, in this entire radius, the gunk, the biological gunk, is churning like a whirlwind of garbage and trash. The kind of wisp ally that's on you, Echo, almost is just little droplets pulling away into this cosmic eddy. All of the garbage and these little kind of elements of paper just swirl, and all of a sudden this Vesk, who is screaming in pain, the fire, he doesn't really put it out as much as Gibbs' spell just yanks it away, and he is able to like breathe again. But as these little elements are pulling across, little razor sharp marks are tearing across his face, and he is almost dead.
This guy's having a bad day.
It's still up.
And yeah, and so this space just is until I drop the spell.
Absolutely.
Fucked up.
Darkness.
No, it's
No, it's like swirling debris. It's
yeah, it's like a
cosmic-
hurricane.
Yeah.
Right there of bullshit.
Anything else, Gibbs?
I'm gonna move a little. I'm gonna try and tail this guy. Can I get there?
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
You scamper up the crates as they kind of pile down around you, and looking straight ahead, you are standing right in front of a poster that is of an Echo unit. There's one right next to that is of a Shade unit, but the orange one that is right there, it certainly depicts an Echo. But
Now keys.
that is your turn, Gibbs.
I just bend the pages into each other and I go, now keys.
Free action.
paying
That is your turn,
attention to
Gibbs.
battle.
Spice. What would you like to do? You see Gibbs making some posters.
Yeah, Spice is like, nice. With my action, I want to figure out more about the people that we're fighting.
Okay.
So
Love that.
can I do like a skill check to gather like who
Make a
these people
cultures
are?
check.
Love that.
Through the scope, you looking through the little heart reticle, you can see all these individuals. You zoom in on different patches and features that you can see.
Let's see, 12, and then 20. God, it's so hard because there's so many. Wait,
Modifiers.
25.
25. With the 25, you zoom in on different elements, and you notice on a couple of these individuals there are tattoos that are indicative of having been taken by pirates that would be considered slavers. These are, at one point, had probably been slaves, no longer. And looking around at them, the other thing that you would notice with that, on top of all the weapons and all this kind of stuff that they have, one of them has a data pad on them. It is within this kind of like overall, you can see actually it is the person that is like on this forklift kind of thing, currently like swirling within a hurricane. Right before they disappear into this hurricane of garbage, you can see on their back a single data pad, and on the back of it is written WTP.
Do I know what WTP stands for?
With that check, you do not.
Okay. And do I get a sense of what crates, like what are in the crates that they're moving?
With that check, and with everything that had been relayed kind of from Echo, you had maybe heard that individual right before they this combat started mention Tetra Sticks. That's a synthetic drug that is kind of like a vaporized product. And so you would guess drugs. But that doesn't seem to fit all the crates. There are some that look a little more military in origin. And there's one that actually certainly looks GPF in origin.
Okay.
This is like, save the drugs.
Yeah. So she's like, all right,
Guys,
which
there's
crates
drugs
have the
in here."
drugs in them? Because I want that shit. And also, which one is the GPF one? Because I'm gonna blow that shit up. And then she's going to not move. She's just gonna like push her head back down.
Okay.
Behind you.
Just the cowboy head.
Yeah, right.
That is your turn, Spice. That brings us to the top of the order and to you, Echo. This individual almost drives you over. You are able to roll off the top, and as you do, like spinning over the windshield, you are able to take a shot at this guy. But you land on your feet. They are beyond you. A swirling hurricane of garbage is on the other side. What would you like to do? You see Gibbs making 2 posters kiss, and one of them has you on it.
Echo's gonna leave the garbage storm alone, the shit storm, and is going to zip over to the other side of the human.
Okay.
So, like on Dan's side of
Yeah, Dan, you might want to move that one.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
about 2 squares closer to you now.
Don't you?
So Echo would have done a wide to
Yeah,
avoid
no
being-
problem. In order to widely avoid all the different elements that could go wrong here.
And is using a bluff check, as it would make sense that they would go the other way.
Sure.
That's going to be a 25.
A 25. With a 25, that is not quite enough, unfortunately. You try to dodge left and dodge right, but he's tracking you with this laser rifle.
And that's a 19 to hit, which I'm assuming
That
does
is
not
not
hit.
going to be a hit either.
You're
You
gonna
rush
new
forward,
dice.
you take the shot, he ducks down underneath. Anything else, Echo?
That's Echo's full action right there.
There you go,
love
full
to see
action
it.
right there. Neither is a success, and that is at least consistency shade. What would you like to do? Bubbles, you're on deck.
I'm going to attack the one that's in front of me.
Okay.
That's gonna be 25 to hit. 27 to hit.
That hits.
And that's gonna be a good amount of damage.
You can see they bring up this laser rifle to fire. You parry with the sword. They have a bayonet fixed to the end of this, and so they thrust that forward, and you're able to parry that out of the way. It is back and forth for a minute, but you already have the upper hand. They just fell out of a tower kind of thing,
29 points of slashing damage.
and you immediately take a much larger advantage as you carve into them, and they are badly hurt. With that, they are dropped almost to their knee, and they surge forwards again, trying to mask this pain, but they can barely hold their arm up after that. That's a substantial amount of damage.
Then I'm going to tactically retreat, jump back here.
Okay.
Is this car still moving?
Yes, it is, and they're like pulling the wheel to the right, trying to turn against the hurricane.
Also, flying creatures in the hurricane have a
Oh,
specific.
this is the hurricane.
Yeah.
Yes, but Shay, what I will say is you can tell, you being a mechanic, you being a pilot, you can see the trajectory of this car is not going to correct in time. They're about to smash that into that blue crate.
Okay. Into the blue crate.
Yeah, they're
here.
turning, and
They're
with
turning that way.
with the hurricane turning it as well, they're about to get yanked into that in the next turn.
Okay, so they're
They are not aware of that. They are like turning over their shoulder, like they are getting ready to run back over Echo in their mind. They don't know that Echo's not there. They can only see this like swirl, and then they also don't know they're about to get yanked into this crate.
They put this, but they go right.
Yeah,
Could I
there's walls like here. So,
Oh, is it?
in some way use my exocortex to prevent that? Because I don't want that thing to get destroyed, because it would be useful for us to have, but I want this guy to die.
It's one of
You would have
Can
to
I-
tell me because
Well, can I
Ow.
right now it's not just so there's momentum
because
carrying
it's also
it.
pulling.
Yeah, it would be tough.
Yeah.
I want that great.
I'm gonna jump up this way then,
Okay.
and
There's a dude on the corner there.
on the corner here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna jump up here, and exocortex distracting hack the one that's down there?
Sure, make your distracting hack check. This individual, as you leap up with your jump jets, you use the sword almost like an uppercut to like cut across them. They're looking hurt. They try to slash at you with the bayonet, but their arm won't even lift, and you land up and on top of this thing. You look off and to your left, there's advertisements for different clubs and bars, and looking down over the edge of this, you can see Gibbs is making a picture of you. Well, actually, from where you are, you don't see that. You can see just this individual duck underneath as Echo lays shot after shot into the wall.
And it's a 28 against
No one
10
knows why.
plus their total sense motive, or 15 plus 1.5 their CR, whichever is better.
Okay, so that's 15 plus 1.5 their CR. And what was the roll?
28.
28. That is just not enough.
Dang. All right, so they are not distracted, but that's my turn.
Okay. So looking over, you can see as they duck down underneath Echo's shots, that will bring us to Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Bubs is going to continue his assault. He's going to just attack the guy in front of him.
Okay, and so you're just hovering in place, attacking?
I
Fantastic.
attacked this guy last time, but I mean, this guy's right in front of me now.
Yeah,
You know, why not? You know?
sure.
Bubs is going to use the Dothco.
He volunteers.
And there's going to be a standard attack.
Okay.
That's an 8 plus 15 is 28.
28 hits.
Wait, is that 20? That's 23. So,
23 against.
KSC.
yeah, it's
That is not going to hit.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's my turn.
You swing forwards, and as you do, they turn, and with the pauldron of their armor, they just catch this blow and turn it aside. They seem to be reaching for something, but that is your turn.
Snacks?
Yeah. And actually, that brings us to their turn. So why don't actually let
Snacks.
me move them first. So, Shade, you carry yourself out of this individual's range. They are going to turn and probably climb up onto this little part right here.
We have a lot of people who should be dead, but
Yeah, you guys do that a lot.
Yeah,
He is going
we kind of
to
like
turn
abandon them
and
while
rush
they're
over here
still.
to start shooting at Echo.
Perfect.
This
Echo
person's
doesn't
momentum
want
is
to get in
gonna
the way
carry
of
them
the
into this and do
trash
that.
chicane.
Yeah,
So this guy on the ground, does he move?
He's prone and he stays prone, I guess.
So he's on fire, right?
No,
now you
you-
got put
Oh, because it got. Yeah.
And then the space is difficult terrain fundamentally.
Okay. And so Echo, as Shade is on top and you are pushing in, this guy retreats, still shooting as he does.
I don't get an attack of opportunity.
You do not.
from
You're too
above,
high
right?
for him, unfortunately, unless you have a 15-foot reach.
No, it'd be cool though.
Yeah,
if
it
I
would.
did.
So, all right, let's start over with Bubbles.
Yeah.
So you see, as a swift action, he injects himself with a hypopen. And you can see almost all at once the blood that was coming out of this single kind of... Well, actually, I don't think he was hurt.
Drugs.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt at all.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt at
The other
all.
guy.
Fantastic. You watch as he seems to surge with energy, and he is just going to drop his weapon and reach forwards and grab you with his arms. Can you make a... this is an athletics check, please.
Oh my god, he's trying to take a ride on the Bubble Express.
No, that's not what he's doing. Please don't say that.
Is that?
It's only got room for one passenger, and that
Yeah.
passenger's Spice.
Yeah, that's what's
I
stinking.
think there's room for one more.
That's a 15 plus 6. That's a 21.
It's a 21. It doesn't beat a 38.
What?
As you see, the strength that surges through him is unnatural and almost certainly fueled by some kind of narcotic. He grabs onto you, and you are now grappled.
yeah.
But that isn't the worst part. The worst part is that he opens his mouth, and you can see there is elements of this greenish flame that begins to lick and burn, and he is going to just expand this greenish flame across your face.
He's got a...
Can you make a reflex saving throw? Oh no, you're grappled.
No, it's
Use a vest.
augmentation.
It's an augmentation.
It's a variant vest rule or an optional one of the I don't remember what they're called.
Is it a
But
spell-like ability?
no, it's a racial.
It's like Dragon.
Yeah, but there's
Breath.
a word for it where you can you don't have to choose. Like Wayoko have the highborn and the lowborn.
It's a species, subspecies.
Yeah.
A will or reflex?
Reflex, but you actually can't make it because you're grappled. And so, Bubbles,
Probably Brian.
you are going to be taking 21 points of fire damage
Green flame breath.
Is this guy still grappled?
as that rolls across you. Which one? They're not grappled now. That was from the gravity gun. Bubbles, they are still grappling you at the end of this exhalation, and you can see they grin, fire dripping from their teeth. But that is all that they can do. The Sharen, who is up there, is going to take 2 shots at you, Echo. The first one is only going to be a 18 to hit.
Nope.
The second one, it's hard to read, is going to be much better, a flat 30 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. And so, Echo, as this laser shot streaks down from this upper level and strikes you, you are taking from that shot a total of 23 points of fire damage. That is the 2 that are up there. The person who is on fire is going to use their movement to stand up. Or they're not on fire anymore, but they're going to use their movement to stand up. And just bracing themselves against all of this wind.
The shitstorm.
They're going to turn and not really able to see very much, are going to just turn and shoot at Bubbles. And Bubbles is not here, but Bubbles is almost
Does
certainly
the
going to take a hit.
shitstorm?
That is 20, that is 34 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And so Bubbles is going to be taking 21 points of fire damage.
I will let him know when he gets back.
That is the Sharen, that is the Vesk, that
have a
is
guy.
the other Vesk. That brings us to the Lashunta. The Lashunta is going to swing at you with the bayonet.
No, not my posters. Don't rip them.
Gibbs, does a 33 hit?
Yeah.
All right. They slash at you with this bayonet, and you only take 11 points of slashing damage as they do so, and the poster of Echo is just ripped in half.
No.
But that is all that they can do. The final, or the second to final individual, then we'll get to the magic guy, is going to, as they retreat, take a single shot at you, Echo. That is only going to be a 21 to hit.
Nope.
And so you duck underneath even faster. The two of you dodging each other's blows time after time, neither able to land a clean hit. The final individual, you can see overcorrecting their thing in Kasatha, starts swearing, and then slams into this element. They are going to make a reflex saving throw to try to hold on, and they are not going to succeed. They are thrown from a vehicle.
Nice.
So, Gibbs,
Yeah.
do they take any damage leaving this
No.
effect? Okay.
It's only when they enter it, and it's only once, like, as long as they're in it.
So he, from taking that damage, he slams into the crate, which pauses the entire momentum. He's not buckled in any way, and so he goes flying end over end and slams into the crate, scrapes along the crate, and slams into the corner that meets the wall, taking a grand total of 12 points of damage,
Dope.
which
And he was bleeding too, right?
is enough to take him out.
Nice.
You can see he is bent at an unnatural angle, almost as if his waist is pointing the wrong direction.
Ouch.
Just forwards into this crate, very much dead.
Ow.
And
Sometimes I
that
feel
is
bad
Yeah.
for the NPCs
that is his
we
turn.
kill.
That is all of the outfit, and that brings us to Gibbs. Spice, you're on deck.
Okay. Yeah, Gibbs really focused on that magic-y person, but they die, and then finally pays attention to the life link that's been beeping incessantly since last battle, and is going to turn tail, take an attack of opportunity.
Sure. This individual lashes out with the bayonet.
Sure.
That is definitely going to hit. That is going to be something like a flat 40.
Yeah, it'll hit.
And with that flat 40, you are going to be taking a grand total of 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay, that's fine. And it's gonna rush right up to Echo and just and
But as you fire, your shot goes wide because Gibbs just starts slapping you in the back.
and it's gonna heal an ally touch for a whole of 9d8, which I'm gonna roll on my.
Very nice.
Oh, it's because I'm now magical.
And each single slap it just is one of those little d8s of healing. It's just heal. And it's each one like burst. It's like being shot with a automatic weapon of healing. And you take 39 points of health
Oh, wow.
as Gibbs slaps you back to almost a hale and hearty state.
Nice.
Anything else, Gibbs?
Grappled.
Anything else, Gibbs?
Movement. Standard action. No, I'm good.
Spice, you are just a hat
is it
floating
itchy?
above the crate. You kind of peer out. You can see this swirling storm. You can see individuals fighting off in the distance. What do you want to do?
I'm going to move under bubbles.
Okay.
Look up at this hulking Vesk that just what is that when you take doped? When you take steroids, yeah.
Yeah,
Roided out.
Yeah, this roided out Vesk.
He's
and
juicing.
he is.
clap our hands together and cast Daze.
Nice.
All right. And what kind of save is that?
That is will save, please.
Will save. Interestingly, it seems like his will is not where it normally would be.
Oh, perfect.
And that is only going to be a
Don't do
17.
drugs, kids.
No, that doesn't make it.
All right. So what happens to this guy?
He is unable to take actions, but there's no penalty to AC.
Okay.
Does that drop the
Unhurt.
grapple?
But at just a moment, I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think
But
you still
he
have
is-
to wriggle free.
Correct. He's grabbing on, but you feel as he was trying to crush your arms, for just a moment it loosens ever so slightly. It's still not comfortable, you're still grappled, but he is distracted. Anything else, Spice?
That's everything I can do.
All right.
Dazed.
That is your turn. That brings us to the top of the order and to Echo. Echo, the health explodes into you from behind. What do you want to do?
Thank you. I was confused by the itchiness.
You're welcome. The fleas are free.
Echo is going to zip at this guy from his vantage point behind the staircase.
Sure.
And then behind him, getting within 20 feet of him
Okay.
for a stealth check. So it's a 35 for stealth.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that succeeds.
And a 22 to EAC.
Meets a pizza.
Yeah!
Very nice.
Yeah!
As he's rushing away, he turns and with like all this elements kind of firing towards him with the storm swirling, he is trying to figure out where you are and you almost sneak up behind him.
That's 10, 20, 36, 41 points of cold and piercing damage. And damage, move, and an additional 10 points of bleed.
With that additional 10 points of bleed, that is just enough. He had 8 points of health left.
Yeah!
You are able to just push him over the edge, and as he turns around, he looks for you, he turns around again, and you are just right, like 10 feet back in the shadows, just these blue eyes. You pull the
Goodbye.
trigger, he just disappears.
Nice.
Very nice. Anything else, Echo? The like opposite side of this entire cargo bay is Echo, but that is your turn. That brings us to Shade. Bubbles, you're on deck.
No, Echo's like.
I'm going to
Other guy.
distract. Actually, he's out of range of distracting Hack, but not out of range of the gravity gun. So I'm going to gravity gun the guy standing precariously.
Very nice.
there.
Yeah, the Sharen,
Nice.
who's like toes over the edge, shooting down at Echo, trying to get a good shot. And you see they do hit Echo as they're like accelerating away.
It hurts.
Nice.
It's a 19 on the die, so
Yeah, 19 on the die, almost certainly gonna hit.
and then
So
you
like a
can make a
+4.
reflex saving throw. The DC's 21.
That is gonna be a 27.
No.
So he does not get pulled.
And so as you fire, it wraps around him, and for just a second, you could hear whoa, 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 and they're like pinwheeling their arms, but they're able to rock back onto here. Having been tossed in several directions now, they're still there. Anything else, Shade?
I'm gonna distracting hack the one that still hasn't died.
Okay.
I thought that they would be dead at
Down
this
there,
point.
up on the crates, they take a bayonet sweep as Gibbs as they scamper away and miss.
And
Or
that's
they hit, actually.
They did.
26 Sorry, 36.
36 is a success.
Cool. So they are flat-footed for until the end of my next turn, until someone hits them.
As their communicator provides feedback directly in their ear, they wince away. That puts them flat-footed. Anything else, Shade?
That's gonna be... I haven't moved. So I guess I'm gonna move down here to kind of get in their space.
Okay. You hop over the element of wall and land on the crates. Bubbles. You are up above, you are grappled, and then all of a sudden you feel the familiar, almost static numbness of daze as Spice casts it underneath, and it washes over this guy. You can see he freezes a little bit, and you feel like you might have an opening. What do you want to do?
Free action, Dodco I drop, and it lands on my side. I'm not
Yeah.
And then what I want to do is I want to, because I have my gauntlets, I want to grapple him, my first action.
Okay.
And then I want to break free the grapple and free action drop him for my second attack.
Okay. So you don't need to make a roll. It still takes the action, but as you are grappled by him, for not for free, but you can grapple him automatically.
Yeah, okay.
So you, as he freezes, you just grab him back. And now he is holding your arms and you are holding his.
Milkies.
Anything else?
For free action, can I drop him or move him?
No, you already dropped your weapon and you can't really move him.
Free action. Yes.
I mean, you're grappling him. Do you still have movement?
I have a full action I took, so can I do a second attack?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay, that's it then.
Alrighty, Bubbles. You are grappling him. He is grappling you. That is the truth of the matter, and that brings us to their turn. So, we have one guy dead. This Vesk is not enjoying being in here, and so he is going to go ahead and hunt.
He doesn't like being in a literal shitstorm.
He is half movement.
Oh, he's going to
Nice. He's still in it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
He's wading in. And my Shiren, having been pulled out, is going to say, no, not this time. And go back a little more. He is going to take the L on having a good shot on Echo.
Yeah. Take that
and
L.
that is all my guys. Okay, so
My guy.
on the outfit's turn, the Lashunta, who is right next to you, Shade, is going to full action attack you for 2. Shade does a... So you watch. They are hurt. They have been pushed and pulled. They have been grappled. They have been pulled with gravity. And so they are already a little discombobulated. And as they swing forwards, you watch as the crates topple off each other and they fall prone behind them.
This guy?
Yeah.
Damn. Sorry,
They
bud.
just slide off, rolling a natural 1 and taking only 1 attack before losing their balance and tumbling to the ground. That is going to bring us over to the Shiren. He rolls back behind this barrier, and he's going to take a shot against you, Shade. Shade, that is going to be a 30 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Alrighty. And that is going to deal... This is a really bright, hot laser, and it's going to deal a total of...
A single?
16 points of fire damage as it strikes into you. The Vesk, they are, remind me, they're grappled by you only, right? Okay.
Are they
And
dazed?
you are grappling them. They're dazed. They can still take an action, correct?
No, they can't take any action.
I thought they could take
They
an
can
action.
take no actions, but their AC is the same.
Gotcha. Okay. So, gritting their teeth, they just lock eyes with you, and you can feel the grip tighten, but they can't really meaningfully do anything. That is the Shiren. That is the Vesk. That is the Lashunta. That is all my guys.
He's so
You're
dazed
holding
that
on
he
to
just
each other
goes.
for balance.
It's just like,
Basically, yeah. That is all of their turns. Gibbs, what would you like to do? And Spice, you were
Do
on
Vesk
deck.
have lips?
Daze is gonna drop after the end of
Okay.
the turn.
Because if Vesk don't have lips, how do they kiss?
Tongue. It's all tongue.
Fuegas.
Yeah. Just pure tongue.
I like Blowaka's more.
You're better.
And they touch butts.
I am full health.
What?
Just not stomach. Yeah, I got bitch slapped for 39 health.
Alright, I'm gonna skitter there. That gives me a good enough angle on the Vesk who I lock eyes with, and I want to Just mind thrust him.
Okay.
How about
Ah, yes, my favorite spell.
how about a
Is it a
third
will save?
level? Yeah, it's a will
Ooh.
save.
14.
Oh, that's way low.
Yeah, he's at a negative right now because of the drugs.
Such a bad day.
Hold on, I can't do it on I can't do it on real dice anymore because it's too high.
Is his head gonna
29
explode?
damage.
29 damage. You watch as he is like stumbling through the storm. He drags himself
this guy.
level. Oh, that guy. That guy.
That guy
Okay,
with
okay,
Bubs.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. No. Very good to know.
Oh no, I would not spend 3 levels of spells on him.
So you ring this strike out, and you can see his whole head rocks to the side, blood from one nostril, but he's still up.
Cool.
Wasn't hurt before, hurt a little bit now.
All right, that's a level 3 spell.
Anything else, Gibbs?
I moved. Can I pocket the posters I was making kiss?
Yeah, sure. You take the 2 halves of the Echo poster, you take the shade one, which you recognize is kind of like a flexible LED. You hear a crunch as you roll it up, and you put it in your pocket.
Okay, I'll work out that later, but yeah.
Okay, that is your turn. That brings us to Spice. Spice, from underneath, you feel the days finally just wear off. What do you want to do?
I'm going to try something, and I'm gonna see if it works.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb up. Can I fit in between the floor and the crates here? If I'm like, can I squeeze?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't even have to squeeze. I mean, you'd be prone to do that, but you definitely can.
Fine. I will take that. So she's gonna squeeze up, reach up to the floor, and then she's gonna cast it here, and I'm gonna adhere the Sharen's foot to the floor.
Nice.
Hang on.
How are you doing this?
Through the grate there?
Oh,
I
through the
love
grate
that.
there?
I love that. I just have to double check, but that may be.
That's kind of awesome. And then
She just, like, reaches through the grate and
what
touches
happens
his
if I
foot.
gravity gun
You
him
create
now?
a
Does it
molecular
just
bond
pull
between an
us?
object
Oh my
you
God.
touch and another object or a surface that object is touching.
Right. So his foot to the floor.
What kind of save is that?
I don't know if. Let's see.
Adhering the fucking Lashunta or the Sharen to the floor.
No, they are just adhered, and they need to.
Reflex.
They need to make a
Saving throw to get away.
I don't think there's a reflex save against it, is there?
What do you mean against it?
There's not. It's not.
'Cause it's not an
They have
attack,
to make a
right?
strength save to get out of it, or a strength
Right.
check to get out of
Right,
it. But
yeah.
very nice. So as you touch this surface, you shift the molecules themselves, and they realign and bubbles. You could see suddenly the daze wears off, and he grins, and he is about to step forward to push you off, and his foot just kind of sticks.
Damn, alright.
Anything else, Spice?
No, that's literally everything I can do.
All right.
She giggles to herself.
As the Sharen turns and tries to aid his vest companion, he's unable to do so. You have him adhered to the floor. Anything else, Spice?
Nope.
Alrighty, very nice. That brings us to the top of the round and to Echo. That's a very. I like that. That's cool.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
No.
Love it so much.
Yeah.
It's just the
Who
Sharen
can
stuff.
Echo hit?
There's a bunch of goobers up here, and then there's one goober all the way down there.
Echo's
But you'd have to
thinking,
go through this shitstorm.
Echo's thinking about that goober all the way down there, and not thinking about going through the
Oh,
shitstorm.
you could go up and over this.
Echo's
gray
thinking
thing.
about going up and over.
Over to the Sharen that's up there?
No, she's talking about the prone guy.
Oh,
Going up and over?
Echo's going up and over.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to keep that
You
one.
lean back on one heel
Sure
and
ends
you
it here.
rush and you leap up the ladder
ends it
using
true.
just one rung as to propel you over, and not even touching the concrete on the
Echo has
top.
climb spray.
You basically float over the entire surface of this and land on the other side, almost like kind of having to roll to carry your momentum over. But looking up, you can see this Lashunta flat on their back, having just fallen
They
prone.
have a -6 to their AC.
They're also prone.
Because they're prone, it's a -4, and they're still flat-footed.
Right.
a
So
minus
Echo's going over using a stealth because fly like a butterfly is like okay, whatever.
Sting
Fuck.
like a butterfly. Fly like a
Norwegia. And For stealth, that's going to be a pause for Hephaestus to load,
sting
please.
like stinging.
But it's a 16 on the die, which comes to a grand total of 36.
That is a success.
Enter the
They don't see you as you leap over an entire structure and land on the other side. Weird thing.
And that is a 22 to hit the EAC.
Meets it, beats it.
Oh,
and they have the -6, so no, well surpasses.
Well surpasses. Prepare for damage.
Oh, the clank.
Oh, the clank.
Give him the clanks.
So that's 10, 20, 34, 39, 44 points of cold and piercing damage.
More than enough. As you leap over the entire structure, you point down, and before you even land, you just fire at this individual, stitching them with icy bullets as you go and like roll on the other side. They are dead. Shade, you watch as they like fall on their back, and before they even hit the ground, they're dead. But anything else, Echo? Echo, in the last fight, you had felt very ineffective. This is very different than the previous.
Echo as a cork.
Shade, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna
Substitute.
hop down next to Echo here, and then distracting hack this guy.
Sure, he's like stumbling back in this garbage storm. He's trying to like draw a bead on Bubbles, and then at that time, exact same time, you spark the headset that he's wearing. Make your check.
That's gonna be a 39.
That's a success.
So he's flat-footed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and push him back into the center of the shitstorm.
Sure.
With the gravity gun. Don't think I'm gonna actually, because that's a nat 1.
Yeah, you're not. You're gonna fire, and Bubbles underneath you, all the paper and little crates and things are just like a whirlwind. But that's all.
I misfired.
Anything else, Shade?
My pants. Nope, that's it for me.
Alrighty, Bubbles. You are standing, locking eyes with this individual. The Sharen is trying to turn to attack, but doesn't seem to be able to for some reason. What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna attack. I'm not gonna do this weird pokey poke game anymore with him.
Pokey poke.
That's just an attack, standard attack 12 plus it's 15 is 27.
That hits.
Do you not have disadvantage because you're grappled?
Not
We're both grappled to each other.
Yeah, so I don't think so.
Cancels out.
And there's no
And
disadvantage.
now he's like
All right.
glued to the floor. I don't know. He's a wild one.
That's a feature.
11 plus 10, which is pretty good. Is 21 plus this is the Dodco plus 21 plus 22 is 43.
I'm sorry, what?
You can see
Yeah, I rolled
previously
11 and a 10.
he had been like pretty okay. He had taken like 1 or 2 blows and he was holding on to you. And then in this brief moment, as he breaks free and you break free and you're grappling each other, you're just like, no. And you take your leg and you swing all the way back and the momentum almost carries him off the platform. And then you just kick him dead in the chest. You are both holding each other. And so there is nothing to like lose momentum off of. It is a 100% kick straight in. It would be like a Sparta style kick if you were not attached to each other.
I still wanna
and so
grapple.
it
I
is
still
just
wanna be
all
grappling.
of the damage straight into his chest, and you feel bone and scales just crack. The
Ouch.
D-suit itself ruptures slightly. They are badly hurt, but they're still up.
I do imagine we have like our hand tied in an invisible cloth.
He lets go. I mean,
lets go?
that's a brutal amount of damage.
Do I
Yeah,
still
he
have
definitely lets go.
grapple?
You do.
Nice.
Right in the
Anything else,
solar
Bubbles?
plexus.
That's it.
Alrighty, that does bring us to the outfit. So
You can
I only have
swap them.
2 goobers left, 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
3.5. Well,
Oh,
2.5.
yeah.
2.5 goobers.
This guy will, I believe, make it finally by like getting into the wreckage of this, barely out of it. He's right here. The Sharen's gonna stay where he is because he doesn't have a choice, and so is the Vest because he's grappled. So, we'll start with the only person who has any kind of agency, who is the Vesk on the other side. They finally just lurching out of the storm. They're going to wildly look around. They are looking for Gibbs, but cannot see Gibbs. And so they are going to shoot at...
Is the shitstorm damage every round too?
No.
It's not damage
It's
now.
just once.
Yeah.
But it's it's just inconvenient.
Movement, yeah.
Yes,
It was
movement.
very inconvenient. That was very, very effective. And so they are going to fire at Shade. Shade, that's probably not going to hit. That is a 23 to hit. Blocked! And so the laser just right
Spam
off
filter.
your arm. Up to the Sharen. He can't move. So very quickly, he is going to turn and looking at you, Gibbs, he knows that this is magic. He does not see Spice. And so in his mind, you are doing this.
Yeah, okay.
So he's going to take 2 shots, full attack against you.
Sorry.
The first one is going to be a 26 to hit.
Hits.
And the second one is a natural 20. So-
The natural 20, I'm going to Hellish Rebuke, Destructive Rebuke.
Oh,
it.
Very
what?
nice.
Do I get an attack of opportunity
nice.
because he's firing? Am I with? Or no,
The
'cause
Sharen?
he shot. No, the Vesk. I thought the Vesk shot within range.
You don't have attack of
Yeah.
opportunity. It's not. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And then the Sharen is the one that's firing right now. The first shot gives
Yep.
is going to be 18 points of fire damage.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And then the critical, you got very lucky,
Okay.
is 21 points of fire damage. Almost minimum damage. And as those 2 shots stitch into you, you could see the Sharen from up top just goes, "Let go!" But that is all he can do. The Vesk, who is grappled, he is going to take a reckless full attack against you. Bubbles. So hang on, I gotta do a bunch of math here. It's -6, it's -2, so it's -8. So does a 24 hit
No.
and does a 31 hit.
Yes.
Okay, so even with you being grappled, even like he is bleeding through all of his teeth now, he's badly hurt from that last blow, but he is going to swing and really almost jabbing this hook knife into you is going to deal minimum damage. 10 points of slashing damage.
No way.
-5.
And is barely
That's
able to move.
hilarious.
Yes.
Can I resolve the rebuke?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So I cast it at the 3rd level when I'm hit.
Okay.
He gets to make a Fortitude saving throw if he can choose to.
Yeah, he's going to.
He's like, no, never mind.
You know what?
That's going to be a
I
27.
do want to die.
27 is more than my level 3 AC.
Okay.
But he will take half damage.
Feels like a good way to go.
He's pretty hurt.
And will not suffer the additional effects I get. FYI. So this is 27 is what I get.
Okay, so half of
divided by
that?
2. Yeah, so he gets 12
12.
or 13.
Okay. He's still up,
That's fine.
and he is badly hurt. But as the Hellish Rebuke rolls across him from that initial strike, it almost deals more damage than his does. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
He slumps against this wreckage. He is using it to keep him up, but he's still up. That is all of my guys. That brings us to Gibbs.
Cool. Gibbs is gonna follow up because she lashed out and hurt in pain with just like the mental connection that she's able to trigger by being hurt. Like the line stays open for just a brief second longer, and she's just gonna shove a mind thrust in there as well.
Sure.
At level 2.
At which one?
This guy is the guy who's
Okay.
fucking me over.
Yeah.
So I would like that to will save, please. At level 2, my DC is 18.
It's cocked. That works out in your favor. 14.
Oh, yeah. So he's gonna take full damage,
Oh boy.
which is 4d10 at level 2.
Bye.
Nervous, like
10. Is this a 1 or a 10?
Yes.
Oh, wait, it's a 1. No, wait. Is
It
the
would
double
be a zero.
zeros?
Double zeros is the one.
Is okay, so it is 10. So it's 2 10s. So that's 18 damage. No, sorry, 28 damage. 28
That's
damage.
more than enough. As you are able to. And which spell is this?
Mind thrust.
Mind thrust. You mind thrust his friend. He says, "Let go," and then just explodes his head, and you let him go from life.
Well, his foot stays to the floor.
That's
so the
technically
corpse,
true, actually. Yeah,
ankle
it's
just-
smooth criminal forward. And actually, he's wearing a D suit that has the mag boots attached to it, so very much like the corpse leans forwards. But anything else, Gibbs?
I will move and make eye contact with this guy who's mad at me.
Okay. You glare at him. He glares back. He is slumped over against the wreckage.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
There's no concentration in Starfinder. Can I choose to drop my spells?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it may be a swift action, but I have to double check.
Okay, I have a swift action. I guess can I drop the Cosmic Eddy?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. It's not benefiting me right now.
Yeah, we'll figure it out after, because I honestly
flies,
did not have not checked. We haven't
Yeah,
done it
I
yet.
don't know. I don't have concentration here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anything else?
No, I'm happy.
Alrighty. With that, with the Shiren just blossoming blood before they fall to the ground, that brings us to Spice. Spice, you hear the Shiren up on the top just yell, "Let me go!" And you're like, "Huh." And then suddenly there is a wet thud.
Yep.
And you get the sense that this Shiren is not with you
And
anymore.
then blood starts dripping
So
through the
there's
grate
two.
below.
There's
There's this guy and that guy.
Oh, I am not in a great position to do fucking anything.
You are on your back underneath this thing, correct?
Shoot that guy.
Is this I'm gonna open this crate and take all the stuff on the inside.
Okay. You pry the crate open, which is unlocked, and it is very much empty. There are little wrappers and refuse at the bottom. You can see empty cans with a little bit of maybe the tiniest bits of paper still attached to it. But I mean, this maybe was used as a domicile at some point. If anything was stored valuable in here, likely it was taken long ago.
Alright, well then I'm gonna start moving toward a crate that is not.
You look over, and the crates that are kind of like all over the place behind that forklift-like vehicle, those are probably the ones you want to go to, because those were the ones that the smugglers were working on.
Okay. I'm gonna move and then that will be my whole turn.
Okay, no problem. That is your turn, Spice. That brings us to the top of the round. Echo, you land, and you can see this Vesk slumps over against the wreckage of this vehicle. Looking up and diagonally, you can see Bubbles is engaged in combat with the other one. What do you want to do?
Bubbles is alone.
And Echo's going to zip over to this thing here. Just bypass Spice, like, what are you doing? And then
It's like almost
climb
dead,
up the
isn't he?
poles. Echo's got to climb speed.
Yeah.
And then just
Echo's movement is 80 across surfaces.
and just full movement all the way up on top of the crate. That'll get Echo all the way up there. Climb speed is 40.
Yep. Oh, okay. Good to know.
And
It's not doubled.
just like aims the pistol at the Vesk.
Vesk.
Okay. You do that. Are you doing, and you're using a full movement? Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. That is your turn, Echo. That brings us to Shade. Shade, from where you are, the Vesk off to your right. What do you want to do?
He's slumped down here, right?
Yeah, he has the rifle very much aimed at your chest.
Okay, I'm gonna distracting hack him.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 36.
36 is enough.
That dice is so pretty.
Thanks. And I'm gonna use disarming maneuver on this guy.
Okay, what is that?
That's gonna be I believe I make a melee attack and it's against his KAC plus 8
Okay,
minus the 2 for distracting hack.
sure.
So 20. Well, I don't know what it is.
So disarming.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's no winking for you. It's just blinking.
Well, he's got the fake lazy eyes, so you can't
And
wink.
get the automated blinking function.
Yeah.
Okay. 31.
Now keep.
31 succeeds by 1.
Nice. So
And it
knock
wouldn't have without the
weapon-
distracting hack, so
Nice.
very, very nice.
So I knocked the weapon out of his hands
This laser rifle just
and
scatters
onto
across
the ground. I don't believe I. Ooh, actually, no, because I just used it. I was gonna say I could quick action disengage my blade and then use the free hand that I had to grab his weapon. but I don't know if I can quick action disengage it after I've already used it to do the disarm.
I don't think so, because it would be
I
like the
don't know.
hand like flipping around. I don't know how that really
Right.
works.
Well, it still counts as a quick action, so I don't know if you have to use quick actions before actions, or if you can
You don't
use
have
them.
to. No, you can use them
then I
after.
guess I could do that.
Yeah.
Quick action and then grab his weapon before it hits the ground.
Sure, no problem. So
then
as you disarm him,
train it at
you
him.
reach for and you like use his own weapon as a threatening device against him.
I'm going to say, stand down.
Okay.
You may be able to live.
That is your turn, Shade. That brings us to Bubbles.
Bubs is like dead on, like shoulder to shoulder. He's not grabbing onto Bubs anymore. Bubs is still grabbing onto him. And in his mind, he's like fighting this conflict with him. And I'm just going to attack him with the other arm with the Dovko.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
It's not one.
This is the most dramatic non-fight
Swing
fight.
down and just slam into the crate that is right at their feet.
Intense
And
hug.
there is just a gout of like broken metal all over the place. It goes all across. It gets like into your shins and stuff, and you feel just flavor, a lot of pain, but not really any damage and not really any real desired result.
More hugging.
Anything else, Bubbles?
He's hugging you again.
That's it.
All right, that brings us to these final two vests. The vest that is right in front of you, Shade, is going to sneer at you, and he is going to say,
You're not gonna make it long here.
and he's going to reach back, and you can see that glow, very similar to what you had seen your Bubbles begin. Can you make a reflex saving throw, please?
Does this count as a ranged attack?
It does.
Then I get a reaction,
Ooh.
Yes, you would.
and I'm going to...
Wait, let me double check that, actually, because I
attack.
just want to check real quick. Because you guys are about to be seeing a lot of vests, so...
Oh, what?
We're on Vestland.
I don't know what we meant.
You're on the borders of the Viscarium for sure. Okay.
One's gonna ask you out. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Vesk.
Yeah, make your attack of opportunity.
Natural 20.
Very nice.
That's lucky boy.
You just cork it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slice his throat before he can use it.
Yeah, no problem. You don't even need to roll damage. You have 3 health left. So as you see the glow begin, he reaches back and you just flick the sword across his throat. And as he breathes forwards, it just rolls fire down across his chest into the vest itself. And he just sinks down to his knees. And you can see through the grin with blood coming down through his teeth. He smiles and just spits on your feet before he dies.
Damn.
Does he spit fire on his feet?
He does not. It's barely even saliva. There's nothing really coming up
His
right now.
mouth's dry.
That is his turn. The one that is right in front of you, that you just completely missed that blow on. He is grappled by you. He used his breath weapon. He is just gonna take an attack against you barehanded. Actually, he's gonna full action attack you.
Bear hug?
No, one's a natural 20.
Regular hug?
The other one-
Extra big hug.
Is I think like a 19, which is going to be a mess. The natural 20 Bubbles, that is a 41 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
And so as he strikes you, you are grabbing him. There's nowhere for him to really maneuver. He uppercuts you straight in the stomach.
Damn.
You take
10 points of damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god!
I mean,
5.
it's an unarmed strike. It's still pretty good. And he doesn't have the Bubbles unarmed strike.
Bubs is like, he respects this guy.
Yeah,
We've
I
been
mean,
doing ad
he
cuts.
digs it into your stomach.
Trying.
That is all that they can do.
No, Bubs has a love crush.
That brings us
It's
to
like
Gibbs.
Is anyone hurt? Is everyone doing fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will do the only thing that I do best, and that is mind thrust the one guy who's left.
So you look over Bubbles at this vest. He punches you, and you're like, I respect this guy. That is a will save.
Yes, please. I'm gonna cast it at the first level, I think.
Soldier respect.
Bubs leans in for the kiss.
With
and
the
then
minus that
explodes.
he's getting, that
Yeah.
is a grand total of
Spice is
13.
not watching.
Okay. He takes
Do
the full
whatever you
damage, which is 2d10.
Go for it, buddy. You look over and Shade's just like,
17
Spice is walking
17.
damage. Yeah.
actively walking towards the drug crate.
Bubbles. Gibbs. Tell us how it happens.
Hey!
You can see Bubbles is holding the Vesk. They're about a foot away from
Yeah.
each other. His stomach is like the Vesk's fist is in Bubbles' stomach.
Right.
They are very close. So how does this happen?
So, Mind Thrust unlocks like the deepest fear of the person's mind, but Gibbs likes to imagine that she's not the one who sees that. It's Bubbles, as he's looking like a dying man in the eye, gets to see like what this guy's actually afraid of as the guy like starts to just like bleed from his eyes, like his tears running red, and like his mouth starts to like do it, and then he just slumps over.
Make a sense motive check.
In the
Your
blacks of
boyfriend
this guy's
dies in your
eye,
arms.
you see the life extinguished,
Bubbles
and
been
just
sent to
in the glimmer,
Yeah, in the glimmer,
a
you get to see what
spark
the
of
guy
Gibbs
sees.
just like.
With a 15, you look into his eyes, and as the magic reflects across it, you can see the reverberations of magic like ringing through his skull. And in this brief moment, across the aqueous humor, behind the eyeball of this Vesk, you see just a glimpse of the image that he is seeing. And it's a very odd image, and it's one that's not terribly unfamiliar to you. And suddenly, all at once, as you spot across the room this tablet that says WTP, it matches the face of William the Pleaser that you see in front of you.
Fucking hell.
But because it is 10 o'clock and you are all out of combat, that is where we're going to end for the evening.
Nice.
So thank you for joining us for this session of Mosaic Team 5. Happy birthday to Matthew.
Who's gonna sign us off?
Who's going to sign us off. But please join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a little D&D if you want a little bit more action. But I'll turn this over to Matthew.
Well, it's been a wild ride. But, we'll see y'all next time.
Yeehaw!
See ya, Space Cowboys.
Hey! Pew pew!